Great, and I think we're live. We're live, ladies and gents. Welcome back. We're doing this once again. This is the Marty and Clyde show. Marty's back. Welcome back, Marty.
Thank you.
And we're gonna get into a bunch of stuff, but before we do, we're gonna waste a little bit of time so everybody can get in here. No, I got a whole preamble that I like to say to people before we actually go live. But it is important to make sure the people that, get their notifications and they come in and they can get in the chat. Some people got their notifications before, and some people don't get it until after we go live, and some people don't even realize, or they just have the timing set up so they're filing on in here. So welcome to the chat, everybody. This is we've been doing this for going on 3 years now, I think.
God, 2022, man. We're like, I think we're going on 4 years. Like, it's crazy.
We're going on 4 years. So we've been doing this for a while, and we've been doing it steady for at least 3 years. And the way we would do it is we would record our chat on a Wednesday night, and then we'd post it up on a Thursday morning. But then, Marty kept saying how amazing it is on the internet these days, especially on X. You put out some information, you get some immediate feedback, and there's nothing more immediate than the chat room, and that's where you learn. That's where you learn. And once it's on the internet, it's forever. Yeah. That's another thing that you learn. So whatever, we're just balls to the wall and gonna do it live, and that's the way to do it. So anything else to add to that, Marty?
No.
Okay, so we've been switching things around a little bit lately, and for different reasons. We wanted to switch it up. We tried out a few different features on YouTube. We tried out the premieres. It was kind of cool, but everybody really liked to have the live stream, and the live stream just felt the best, right? Now, after doing it for years where it was recorded and then on a video and then went to live and then switched it up, tried the premieres. Live is just the best way to go. So we're sticking with the live. I think this is kind of the indefinite how we're going to do it. But what we decided to do is go out to more platforms so more people can watch us in different locations. So whether you're on Facebook or YouTube's your favorite or X is your favorite, you're following me on X, you're following Marty on X, you want to watch on Rumble, we've got this live going out to Rumble. Some of the back end stuff I'm still trying to figure out on Rumble. I can't seem to get
the only platform that we don't stream on. Have you ever tried streaming on Facebook? Is there streaming on Facebook? Not really, right?
We're streaming to Facebook right now.
Oh, are we streaming to Facebook? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So we're streaming to, and if you're a Facebook user and you want to use that and you feel more comfortable over there, it's Clyde Do Something, the channel page on Facebook.
I never knew you had a Clyde Do Something page. I mean, I don't have a Marty.
It's pretty new. It's pretty new. Yeah. And right now it's sitting at 13,000 followers. So there's another page by the name of the channel, and somebody else opened that. I think it was like a fan page. But if you see the one that's got 13,000 followers at today's current time,
I'm just looking in the comments. Somebody says Facebook is for 12-year-old girls. I kind of disagree.
I thought it was for grannies.
Yeah, but it's actually turned out to be it's an effective place to have groups. I'd say, surprisingly, I'm part of a few groups on Facebook. Never thought of streaming anything, but I am on a few groups on Facebook, and I find it useful for that. So anyways,
yeah.
So
this is a page, not a group. So like as an entity or whatever, as an entertainer or whatever, you have to do a page. Anyway, I don't know the rules on Facebook. I'm just trying to get out to all the different platforms. So wherever you like to watch it, it's out there, it's available for you, and enjoy it. We're going to be doing this. And the other change that we're going to do is we're not going to be taking the stream down and making it for members only afterwards. In fact, I might take the usual chat and I might put that on the second channel. If you're not aware of the second channel, it's the Do Something podcast. So it's like what is it? youtube.com/do something podcast. Yeah, that's the name of the second channel. And a lot of the stuff from the live streams ends up getting cut up and put on to that channel. So if you're not a follower there yet, make sure you get on over there. And in fact, I'm just going to pop it up so everybody can have a link. I think there's a link in on the channel page, but let's just make sure people get that, because it's a smaller audience over there. But
I like the comment. And while you're while you're doing that, I like some of the comments going by. I appreciate people telling us where they're calling or where they're watching from. It's really cool to, we definitely have an audience across the country. It's awesome.
And across the globe. Like there's
What's the
people in all
farthest we had?
countries.
Then we've had some people send. We had a guy. Remember, we had that one guy send super chats that were in like South African whatever currency that was. Like, had to look it up. Like
South Africa. There's
wow.
we have a viewer from Kuwait. We have someone in here who just said they're from India. we got people all over the place. The India, I think the India connection was because I did some podcasts with Kushal Mehra. You remember him?
Yep.
So I did some podcasts with him, also with Darshan Maharaja, and who is it? Who else is it? The boys from the National Telegraph. Daniel Boardman. He's also got some hookups out over in India. So there's some Indian viewers. Brazil in the chat right there.
See, this is cool. We got people watching. Tess is watching from
Idaho.
X, and we got people from all the platforms. Perfect, awesome.
Yeah, Arizona. We've got Brazil, Ontario. I love that. Florida,
Moose Jaw. Love places like Tabor. Was not too far from there the other day. I was
Tennessee.
in I was in Lethbridge on Friday.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Keep bringing those in. That's awesome. Love to hear from where you guys are viewing from. But anyway, so here's the rundown. Here's how this is going to go. This is the Friday. Sorry, not Friday. It's the Wednesday podcast with Marty and Clyde show. So the way this is going to go, we're going to talk for the first about an hour and address a bunch of things that are happening in Canada right now. And then afterwards, we're going to get talking to you guys. So if you're like, hey, why is this even live? They're not even chatting with us. Of course it's live. We break it up like this. So we'll be addressing the chat after which. So if there's things that you want to talk about, make a note about it, or if you wanted to add something to that. Also, the super chats are that note that can go over time. But also, if you want to just put in a chat to bring up a particular topic at the end afterwards, just make a note, a little piece of paper or something, make a little post it, and then we'll talk about it afterwards to get in the chat for that. So stick around for the second hour, because that's when we're going to be chatting with everybody. Again, I'm going to put out another post to everybody here, just as a reminder. Yeah, that's the link for the second channel. Get on over there and make sure you're subscribed to the second channel. Let me share the screen so you guys know what the channel looks like. It's a little bit different, but there's tons and tons of content that goes up there as well. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure you are, because we're gonna be branching out, especially when I move to Texas. There's gonna be a lot of new stuff and a lot of different content going out. I'm gonna have a lot more time on my hands to be able to get stuff out. Marty, I get itching sometimes. I absolutely get itching sometimes where there's stories I want to cover, but I'm like pulling wrenches during the day. Right. And then I'm tired by the time I get home. If I'm not pulling wrenches, I'll be getting to a lot more stories. So make sure you subscribe to both channels now, and of course following Marty over on X and all the platforms. So yeah, might as well let's get into it. Marty, April Fools. Did anybody fool you? That's the big question.
Not this year. Nobody fooled me this year. I think I fooled a few people, but I've been fooled in the past, but not this year. I think I was a little too. Nobody fooled me, but there were some good ones. I like the one. I like Juno News announcing that Rachel Gilmore was on their team.
Oh, yeah,
and Rachel got all pissy about it. She got all.
She got mad.
Oh, she got right mad. Like,
this
is not funny. And I get threatened enough without you guys. Like, the satire was so good. She got mad.
I get threatened enough. I mean, she's the one who's sicking the hate police after people, who's getting threatened. I mean, people are getting knocks on their doors by police officers for saying mean stuff on the internet.
What she did to James Topp and other guys. Like, I live and let live, but honestly, I have no sympathy for Rachel Gilmore. Couldn't care less, but happy to see her whining away on the platform today.
Oh, I gotta share this. That's Utaka too much in the chat. One of the moderators, he says ratioed Gilmore. That's great.
Yeah.
That's
No,
perfect.
I think I got a couple of people with my bear picture. But before I get to my bear picture, I'll tell I told this story this morning of the best way I ever got caught on April Fools was I used to manage oil and gas operations in northern Alberta, and I had a gas plant that I was responsible for. That was a real problem. Like, and when a gas plant goes down, there's paperwork involved, right? So, anyways, I'm sitting at my office in the morning, and this guy named Al Brochu, wonderful comedian, great operator, calls me, and he's like, "Hey, boss, you won't believe what happened today." He's like, there was a crew underneath our right of way, and they were doing something line locating, and they scared a bear that had just come out of hibernation. And then Al tells me the bear ran up the power pole, shorted out the transformer, and knocked down the plant. And I'm just sitting there in my office at that time going, oh God. Like, and I'm going through I'm like literally taking out the emergency book, trying to figure out all the emergency stuff. And then Alan just goes, April Fools. And I was on the phone. I'm like, dude, you just gave me a heart attack. So anyways, I was looking up for Alan today. I was looking up Alan to see how he's doing. Right. And then I saw he posted a picture of a bear. So I reposted his picture of the bear, and I got a bunch of people this morning with my picture of the bear.
Okay, so I'll pop this up on the screen. Here's the picture of the bear. What's this buddy of mine took this picture last year during hunting season, north of the valley. His name is named him Panda.
Yeah. And so it's Photoshop, right? It's a Photoshop bear, but Alan posted, or not Alan. Sorry, this was Alan's brother Ben who posted this picture. But same family, same comedians, and a lot of people were like commenting today, like, "What kind of disease is it? This and that, and this and that." I had it going for a little while, right? You know the rules. You're allowed to keep it going until 1 o'clock, right, or noon, and then at noon it's like, "Sorry, folks, April Fools." But yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Well, so I did an April Fool's today, and boy, did it get mixed reactions. Holy cow. So I just tweeted this out. I said, Mark Carney is really doing a great job. Holy cow. The mixed reactions. I actually had one person just say unfollowed and actually unfollowed me.
Really?
Yeah. Like people didn't quite really get it. Yeah. One guy said rage baiting today, are we? I said, yeah, once a year.
Actually, you know what? I outside of April Fools, I'll post comments like that. Like I maybe once every couple of months, I'll say, Mark Carney's the best thing to happen to Alberta. I'm actually kind of being serious when I say it, but also a little bit mischievous. But it also tweaks the algorithm, right? I mean, we know this. We know this, that if you say something positive about like, I've done the experiment. You can say Mark Carney's an asshole or Mark Carney's a nice guy, and you'll immediately see very different engagements from the algorithm. It just is what it is. So what I call it timeline purges. Once in a while, you gotta do 2 or 3 pro-liberal tweets. Retweet Rachel Gilmore if you want to, feel good.
That's too funny. So I thought I was being April Fooled over the weekend. I was like, oh, this came early when the Junos went on and they did their performances on the Junos. And someone quickly clipped it and sent it to me, like a personal friend of mine sent it to me. And he said, you got to share this on social media. I don't think anyone has yet. It just happened. And so I did. I just shared it out. And I guess I'll show you guys the clip. But this was supposed to be an homage to Nelly Furtado, a singer from Canada. And they brought in this person, well, I guess a bunch of different people, but this was the showing.
What the hell am I watching, Clyde? Like, what the?
Cause this life is too short to live
okay.
So you're just listening.
You feel so powerless. What are you gonna do? But say what you want. Viva Portugal!
All right. Well, that was that. So that was your first time seeing that, Marty?
I was on the road all last week. I was gone.
So you didn't see that? Okay.
I woke up in Lethbridge and came home on Saturday, and then Sunday the kids came over for Sunday dinner. We had an early Easter dinner because the kids are all gone later on. So no, I didn't see that.
So that clip went mega viral over the weekend because, I mean, that's obviously it's ridiculous.
Was she drunk on stage? Is that what it was, or that was genuine and a genuine attempt at talent?
That was a genuine attempt at talent. Apparently, Marty, that is Inuit throat singing. That was to the tune of Nelly Furtado's whatever song that was.
Dude, I sound better at karaoke than she does. Like, seriously. Like, I mean, that's the kind of thing, like, you know, I'm at a drunk Christmas party. It's like, hey, Marty, come up on stage. Sure, I'm up on stage. So that wasn't a drunk Christmas party. That was, okay, well, wow.
No, it wasn't. And so this is apparently a thing. It is a real thing.
The throat singing or the
apparently. So
yeah, that's a real thing. Yeah, for sure.
So I call it into question because I'm like, is it a real thing?
Well, I don't know. I know they do it in Nepal and then Tibet. Like, it's a Tibetan throat singing for sure. Like the like I've heard that. Like you know, or what's the other one with the big horns that the Australians do, the didgeridoos or whatever. It almost sounds like that, but
so you've got to see this clip because this cracked me right up. I didn't even know that this existed.
Yeah, you gotta just Yutaka just said it, right? Throat singing does sound cool when done properly, but I don't think it's not our tradition. It's not a Canadian tradition to throat sing.
So the natives want to tell people that it is. So this is some of the natives, Inuit people for King Charles. This actually happened. I think this was 8 years ago. Before he was King Charles, he came to Canada and they had this performance for him.
See, I don't know what that is, but I would not call that throat singing. Like, find a clip of like Tibetan throat singing. I don't know what that is, but I wouldn't call that throat singing. Maybe that's why the king's laughing, because he's heard real throat singing and that ain't it. Like,
that absolutely ain't it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm overheating here because that's really funny. Like Mongolian throat singing is a real thing.
Where the men have that deep voice and it resonates, and Mongolian throat singing is different than just sounds like loud grunting. Yeah, that's that's what that sounded like.
Yeah, I think here's a clip that might give it justice of what it really sounds like. I'm not trying to play the whole song, but
yes,
that's what that sounds like. And it cracks me up because, like, at the end of the day, like, there are so many made up things by the natives in Canada that I think this is one of those things where, you know, people got to, like, somebody made it up and then people bought into it. And then all these people thought, yeah, we totally do that. We do this throat singing. And it's just not true. It's not a thing at all.
Another famous made up one is bannock. Everybody thinks, bannock is native food. No. Like, bannock is a Scottish name, and we gave the natives here, as part of the treaties, we had to give them bread or flour and stuff like that. And somebody just showed them how to make an unleavened bread, and then they called it bannock. But it's the Scots that showed them how to do it, but then they totally appropriated it, and they'll say it's their own thing. Every nation does that. Every culture does that. I mean, I'm not gonna diss completely on the natives, but yeah, they're as guilty of doing it as anybody else. I mean,
when you humor people enough for their BS claims, eventually it gets to the point where it bites you in the ass because you've humored them enough. And that's where we get into, like, what's happening in British Columbia, because now we have actual land claims on people's property because somebody told a story about somebody fishing there 300 years ago, which we have no actual documentation for, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, speaking of it, we'll get to the space story in a minute, but there's I'll save it. I'll save the land. Remind me of the land claim and the space story in a second. But before we get off this topic real quick, maybe I did get caught by a April Fool's joke today. was it real that the CBC canceled this hour's 22 minutes, or was that an April Fool's joke?
Okay, I didn't hear that.
Because based on the bullshit that I just saw, the Juno Awards and everything else, I mean, yeah, the CBC's going downhill. Like, nobody's watching it anymore, right? Like, it's a complete joke. And I thought I saw a story today or maybe yesterday that CBC had canceled this hour, but now in hindsight, I'm thinking that was probably an April Fool's joke.
Yeah, has not been canceled.
Okay. Yeah. So I read it, but I didn't take it seriously. I won't say I got caught by it, but now it makes sense. Yeah. Although, I mean, that's almost reality, right? It's not even like April Fools that's pretty close to being real. I mean, should this hour and 22 minute be canceled? Yes, they're garbage. Like, it's not even funny anymore. Like, you know, there used to be a time when they had good skits, but everything they've been trying to do lately has been completely brutal.
So I think I got caught up by one, and I just realized it. Well, okay, I'll just share the tab. This is what I read earlier, and it made me laugh because I thought it was an April Fool's joke. And so, well, just pop it up here. The Babylon Bee posted this. NASA plays incredible April Fool's joke of once again pretending to go to the moon. And so I had a laugh at that because it sounds like a funny April Fool's type article. But you're telling me they actually did that.
Again, I mean, they're sort of playing along the, you know, there's still people who believe that the 1960s, 70s moon shots and landings didn't happen. That's fine. Believe whatever you want. And they're playing along those same lines. But I believe what I saw today. I mean, that rocket launched on its way to the moon. And they're not going to land on the moon. That's not what they're doing right now. This is Artemis 2. Artemis 1 sent the capsule around the moon and came back. This one is sending the capsule around the moon and back, but with 4 people on board. And the story there is, we're going back to the moon, which is sure, cool, interesting. But
that's pretty cool.
More interesting. Yeah, it's pretty badass. But the other sort of sad story about this is the fact that most people in Canada haven't heard about it. There's a Canadian on that mission. Like, there's a Canadian. So there's 3 Americans and a Canadian. This will be the first time that a non-American sees the far side of the moon, and nobody talked about it in Canada. Why did the mainstream media not talk about it?
Because they're obsessed with Donald Trump, and that's it. Like, everyone's got TDS, and they can't give Americans credit for anything, even if a Canadian is on board.
It's an amazing collaboration. Yeah, it's an amazing collaboration between our 2 countries. Amazing collaboration, and we can't acknowledge it. How sad is that?
That's absolutely ridiculous.
It's so sad that there were people making jokes like that one. And the funniest joke I heard today about that is that the Canadian was on the plane, on the rocket, because once they get to the moon, we need somebody to do a land acknowledgement. And so that's why so we're mocking, you know what I mean? Like, we're literally at the point where this poor guy spends like 30 years of his life climbing the ranks of the Canadian Air Force, whatever, accomplished pilot, everything, engineer, doctor, like the works. Joins NASA, spends 10 years training for this mission, and just because Trump happens to be president, that poor guy's getting mocked. It's so sad. Welcome to Canada.
Brutal.
Yeah. I mean, the joke's funny, right? The joke is funny. I mean, yeah, that's what people think of now. That, you know, and that was an American who made that joke. Like, there's a Canadian on the flight to do a land acknowledgement. I'm like, oh my God, we're a joke. I can't wait
until they actually land on the moon, because in this day and age, you can't fake that. Like, there's no way they're going to be able to pull it off if it's a hoax. Like, if the original one was a hoax, I'm not saying it was, but there's no way to, like, you'll be able to see them. Like, with modern telescopes, you'll like actually view them like landing on it and check it out.
Yeah, see, somebody says the indigenous were there first. I mean, that's literally like, don't joke like that, because somebody will go, oh yeah, Turtle Island or whatever. They'll give a new name for the moon, and then they'll claim it. The moon. So this one, just goes right. Slingshots, heads over there, or doesn't even orbit. Uses gravity, pulls it around the moon, and comes right back. I think the moon landing is maybe in a couple of years from now. They'll attempt the moon landing. But you saw the other announcement this week, right? The Americans have committed to building a moon base, Now, I mean, I find their number hard to believe. Like they're saying they could build a little moon base for $20 billion. I'm like, man, we can't even build a pipeline for $20 billion. Like we built Trans Mountain for 40, and the Americans are like, oh no, for 40, we go to the moon, man. We build a base on the moon. It's like, wow, you guys are. I don't doubt the Americans can do it. I mean, between
what? Yeah,
yeah.
With the fact that rocketry has gone free market, things have come massively down in price. Like it's not the same kind of expenditure to put things into orbit or even beyond that. Like we're living in a new era, and this is great. I love seeing the free market reaching places like this. It took since the 1960s. For that to become a thing. I don't know what regulatory hurdles that Elon had to go through, but he was so motivated that he brought this into the forefront. Now there's competitors, right? Because there's the other blowhard billionaires that want to brag that they're able to get rockets into space. Great, more the merrier, the better.
Elon went through a lot of hurdles, but let's not forget, Elon basically was the solution to a NASA problem. I mean, NASA lost their space shuttle, right? They never built another rocket after the space shuttle, but they still have this orbiting station up there that needed to be resupplied. So the Americans, for the longest time, relied on the Americans, and then Elon came along and says, I can solve that problem for you. So they, that's where, I mean, SpaceX is making a lot of money working for the government. So
it's on the space station. If you don't bring in fuel for the boosters, it'll fall to Earth, right?
Totally. No, it has to be resupplied with fuel, water once in a while. I mean, sure, they drink their own piss and they recycle everything, but eventually, you kind of want some fresh water and some fresh foods, and I can't imagine. But
the things that people will do for science.
I'm not there, right? I believe too much in risk management, and I'm not about to set on top of a rocket like that sucker and wait for it to launch. That's just that I find that crazy. Those guys are brave. They're knowledgeable. They trust the engineers at NASA, but they're still brave, man. I mean, you're sitting on top of.
That's nothing. The Canadian taxpayer did the same thing, or maybe even riskier. They voted for Mark Carney. Marky.
Yeah.
They brought in a rocket. They sat their ass right on it, and they just lit the fuse.
By the way, we when we were on the topic of April Fool's jokes, no joke, Mark Carney got a raise today.
Yes,
you didn't talk about that very much, right? And we still don't know what the raise was, but. His salary is about $400,000 a year. The typical MP makes about $200,000 a year, more than that. And I think rumor was, even if they got a 2.5% raise, that's still a $4,000 raise. Like, that's not a joke, man. Carney probably got
it's a joke to them. I mean, it's nothing compared to what they embezzle out of the government.
Oh yeah. But no, what did we get today? We got extra beer tax.
Woo!
And
we got some more fuel tax. That was a big contributor for us. That on top of what's happening with the Middle East and fuel going up already. On
what are you guys at for diesel? Do you know? Have you checked?
Oh, diesel's at like $2.50 something.
Yeah.
I just fueled up. It was like the last day under $2 a tank or a liter for gasoline. So it's at $1.99.9 right now.
So you're not much farther ahead than us then. We're in the same ballpark. We're $1.99 for diesel.
Oh no, it just hasn't switched. It just hasn't, like, we're anticipating the big jump because they just haven't switched it yet. So the industrial carbon tax, but you have to understand the carbon, BC has its own carbon tax. So when they got rid of the what was it? The consumer part of the carbon tax that didn't go away.
No, they kept the industrial carbon tax. Yeah.
They kept the industrial. They kept the consumer carbon tax. It's still in BC, and so yes, it's going up federally, but it's still there provincially. So it's going to go up. It's just a matter of when does it happen.
Well, somebody look at Rogue Primate there. Put a comment there. $2.75 today per liter at the Port. How do you guys say Port Coquitlam? What's the acronym you guys?
POCO. Yeah.
POCO. yeah. $2.75. Wow. Yeah. I have a 132 liter tank in my truck. 132 liters times 275. I don't even want to. What would we call it?
Don't even want to
132
know.
times 2.75 would be $363 to fill my truck. $363 to fill my truck. I went on a little tour of Alberta this week, speaking on separation and doing stuff.
Yeah, let's get into that. So this is big news.
Yeah, but just before I did the quick tour, and I ended up Jason Levine organized a tour, and when he gave me I agreed. I said I'll lend my voice, but when I saw the schedule, I'm like, ay. I got to go to Leduc, Lethbridge, Drumheller, and Red Deer. I'm like doing the math. I'm like, at least he did them in order. He didn't get us all over the place, but I put in like 1,500 kilometers and I burned about $300 worth of fuel. So it wasn't worthwhile. Amazing cause. Yes. We had great news when it comes to independence 2 days ago, Monday.
I'll pop this on the screen. So I covered this just the other day, saying Rise of Alberta put this out there. Everybody was talking about this, but Rise of Alberta put this out. Breaking the 177,000 signature threshold has now been passed, officially clearing the requirement for an Alberta independence referendum on October 19th, 2026. This is a historic moment for Alberta, and signature collection is still continuing. So obviously you guys have gone over the threshold by enough that even if like some signatures get thrown out, that kind of thing.
There's spoilage. They've accounted for spoilage. The reason Mitch did that, Mitch was a bit reluctant to announce the number because he thought people might take their foot off the gas and slow down on signing the petition. And I'll come back to that. But the reason he said that is I think there's an injunction. So there's 6 bands that are trying to file an injunction to stop the petition. So Mitch is pretty much sending a message to the bands and to the courts, like, cancel it, pass the injunction all you want. We already have the
Gotcha.
So that was part one. Part two, I was surprised at how I thought, like him a little bit, that if you let people know that we've already reached it, that people would stop signing. Nope. Look at me. I'm still tanned quite a bit because I'm still sitting at my pop-up collecting signatures. I do 4 or 5 hours a day. I was there today, and the traffic is still nonstop. I had people coming up, and nobody seemed like, I'd ask people, like, you're aware of what happened this weekend? They're like, oh yeah, we know the numbers met, but we're still signing. I'm like, okay, good to know. So
why are there so many people that are so late to sign? I mean, like, it's pretty late in the game for signatures like this. So
Albertans are busy working, man. They're busy working. Like, you gotta do what I'm doing, which is set up like almost in the parking lot outside their office and catch them when they're coming in and out of work. They're just they're busy working.
They're just busy working. Okay,
Busy
well,
working.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully people aren't busy working on referendum day, because that's coming up. It's around the corner. I mean, I know we're just in April now, but man, time flies.
Totally.
It's crazy how fast time flies, especially when you're not paying attention. You're just, living your life and going on with things. But, I've got a lot of things coming up around the corner. I'm going to be out of here in the summer. And between then and now and then, I have a lot of things happening, and it's creeping up. I got to get a lot of things going. So I can imagine, like, people have busy daily lives. October will happen very quickly. It'll come up so quick.
Yeah,
you're not even going to notice it, and then next thing you know, you're in referendum territory.
Now I'll say this. I will answer your question another way too. People are slow signing because we've had lousy weather. Like, that's one thing. I understand why Mitch triggered the petition when he did. Mitch triggered the petition in late December of 2025. Because they knew it would take Elections Alberta a couple of days to approve it. Then we would have 4 months to collect the signatures and then time to petition. The referendum's in October. If Mitch had waited too long to start the petition, the referendum would have occurred in 2027, and there's an election in 2027. So, and there's a blackout period. You can't have referendums too close to an election. So he had to trigger the petition when he did, which unfortunately meant we were out there collecting signatures in January, February, and March, and all 3 months were miserable. So the fact that we got still 200,000 signatures in those miserable months is quite the accomplishment. I think we're going to get more now in just the month of April, because April is starting to be good.
Oh, so people start coming out of the woodwork
Yeah,
and come
yeah.
sign that.
I mean, some days, like, I don't blame people for not stopping. They drive by, they see us, and like, I got it. I'm not stopping because it literally means getting out of your truck, and people are unfortunately that lazy. Like, they, like,
or
yeah,
they're in a rush. They don't, people don't make
yeah,
time for other things. They got to be at work. They
yeah.
finish work. I got to get home. I don't have time to stop. That kind of thing. So, referendum happens. Is it like other Canadian elections where, there's no excuse? Your employer is not allowed to tell you can't go.
Yes.
All
It's-
of those rules still apply.
Full Alberta laws, Alberta election laws. It's going to be interesting because I've always said that I thought that the signature collection part right now is kind of easy, but it's a bit one-sided, right? We're the only ones saying, "Hey, come sign," because we're pro separation. The the stay camp, the no side hasn't been vocal, so we're not even getting any traction or publicity or anything like that. Now it changed. That was the other thing that I noticed changed in the last couple of days. I've told you this story before. I get a lot of wackos come to just challenge me and want to harass me because I'm kind of popular and I've been on the same location. The wackos are really picking up now. So obviously the no side heard, they're like, oh shit, this is real, right? I mean, now I'd love, again, JJ, if you're listening, and I know, by the way, how'd that go with JJ?
It went great. It
Okay.
actually went really good. Yeah, JJ's quite a good sport about all this stuff, and we talked about the separation thing. And I didn't go at him from a position of being someone part of Alberta separation. I just wanted to get his opinion. So I gave somewhat of an argument from your perspective, but not as a supporter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm cheering you guys on from the sidelines, right? Like, I'm not from Alberta and I don't pretend to be.
No, and I didn't want to challenge JJ on pros and cons of separation. I just wanted him to. I just thought he was in denial of constantly saying this is a nothing burger. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. So I'm just curious now if his story is if he's going to finally wake up a little bit and realize, there's more to it. This is not that fringe of a movement, right? I mean, I know. Like even now, some people say, "Oh, you only got 200,000 signature." They do the math in their head. They go like, "It's only whatever 10% of the electorate." I'm like, "It's 10% of the electorate."
That's pretty big.
People are scared to come out and sign because there's a they're worried about the government doing something with that information, freezing their bank accounts. Like, people are literally scared of our own government. Which, by the way, when somebody comes and says, I'm scared to sign this because I'm scared of my own government, I'm like, well, you're going to have to be brave and you should sign, because if you keep cowering and being afraid of your government and don't sign something like this, then your government keeps winning. So,
yeah, they totally do.
Yeah. But so just end the story. I think there is a fair number of people who were afraid to sign. And so the fact that we got 200, we'll probably get 300,000. Is not reflective of what's actually happening. There is more people that are wanting to have this discussion, but they're afraid for now. I think it'll change once it's declared. Once Danielle Smith says, no, we're having a referendum on this, then I hope people will be more open to the proper debate.
Well, and I would love to see that, because it doesn't seem like there's been much debate at all. It's really been more a showing of just.
Well, the debate right now,
trying to ignore you guys entirely, or dismiss you as if you don't exist at all. That's kind of the stage it's been in.
Exactly. Actually, here's the debate generally. I'll say something like, I'm unhappy about my deal in Canada, and nobody ever asks why. So I'm unhappy about the deal in Canada. You're an idiot. Oh, okay, that's great. You'll fail. You're landlocked. Donald Trump's a pedophile. Okay, great debate.
Okay, that's about all I got. Well, it'll be great. It'll be great to hear some of the real things. Obviously, there have been grievances for a very long time within Alberta with the the union inside
and Saskatchewan
Canada.
and BC. We all have very similar grievances, right? I mean, it's Ottawa has not been very kind to most provinces lately, except maybe Quebec. But even Ontario probably has valid reasons to complain about Ottawa. Maybe less these days, but
they get taken care of pretty good.
Yeah, they get. Yeah. I'm rethinking that. They get taken care of pretty good.
It's not a good place to be a conservative, though.
No.
Ontario. No, not a
Yeah.
real conservative. Anyway, if you're
Jeez, we
progressive
haven't
conservative.
even covered any of the stories that are on my list, Clyde. Like we're supposed to talk about the NDP convention, the gun grab, Ontario taxes. Like,
Okay,
where
well,
do we
let's
go?
get into some of these because, well, first off, people are getting uppity right now because we're talking about the referendum. We're talking about that stuff that's all happening kind of in the immediate, right? So the signatures being taken. A lot of people talking about a spring election, but I don't think that's going to happen. I haven't thought that that was going to happen in a very long time. But and you and I have a bet on this. But there's a theory now that people are saying that they're going to prorogue Parliament in April, in the middle of April. And
Yeah, explain that to me. I missed that. Yeah, explain that to me.
okay, so as far as I know, this is kind of where I heard about this from. And it's funny because just before we started the live stream, I went in to grab a couple of bits to show, you know, my homework or what have you, where we're at with this. But here's a guy I follow quite a bit, J Gen Xer. He says
Yeah.
absolutely infuriating power grab. The Carney Liberals are scheming to prorogue Parliament the second they sweep the April 13th by-elections in Scarborough West, Southwest, University, Rosedale, and Terrebonne, or however you pronounce that.
Yeah.
And so they have a shaky minority, and that's why they want to prorogue. Is that's what's being said, and you know he's giving information that he got based on this article, and this is amazing. So this is from the Globe and Mail.
And
this is the bombshell.
This is not April
article.
1st. This was mentioned. Yeah, this is mentioned 2 days ago. So this is not a joke. This is legit news reporting by Gen Z. Okay.
Right. So here's the article. I got an archive of it when it was published, and it says government could prorogue Parliament if Liberals sweep by April 13 by-elections, and they go into, you know, the thoughts and where they sit on this. And I just love this because then I love archives for this reason. Here's the most recent archive. Same article. Government says it will not prorogue Parliament if Liberals sweep by April 13th by-elections. This is like 1984. It's so crazy. This is Winston going in and cutting out the news articles and pasting entirely new headlines that mean completely different things. But this is how media works these days. And this is why people were pissed. They read that article and it got people angry. And now they've just gone and they've erased it. It's been erased from the annals of history, and it's like it never happened.
Yeah, if they did a correction, if they said sorry, we made a mistake and we're issuing a correction, okay, I might buy it. But so that's why I was hearing the noise about proroguing and everything. So there are some shenanigans that explains. Then today it seemed like, I think today Carney was on stage and he seemed to be going out of his way, right? I will not prorogue Parliament. I will not prorogue. It's like, sorry, man. Heard it from Justin. Heard it from everybody. Like it's okay. So this makes sense. So he's thinking of he's confident.
So the article says it includes a correction, but it doesn't point out where.
Yeah.
Where the correction is, and I'd have to go through the whole article to give you that. But it sounds like the original article was just BS anyway. So it sounds like they're not going to do it. Probably, and this is the way the politics work in Canada. They'll leak something out to the media. And it's anonymous. Test it. See how people react to it, and then just erase it like it never happened. If people are really upset about it, and if they're not really upset about it, then they just go with it. They'll just go with it.
So they could have legitimately been thinking of proroguing Parliament, and which would make sense, right? So he's hoping to win. I've been saying this to people. We might see a very different Carney after the 13th, which, by the way, is like what 2 weeks? So 2 weeks away from now, right?
It's
like
not very long from
in
now.
2 weeks from now, if he gets his majority, you and I have talked about this. If you think C9 and some of these other ones are crazy bills, boy, if he gets a majority, what's he going to do? I don't even want to think about what he's thinking of doing, right? The gun grab could be an example, right? I mean, if he gets a minority, he might reconsider the gun grab because that's going really shitty for him. But if he gets his majority, if he gets his majority, I can see him proroguing Parliament. As much as he says he won't, he can prorogue Parliament, which erases the slate. Again, these old bills are gone. All the committee meetings on my conflicts of interest are gone. That's all gone. We start again.
But it's crazy because the propaganda machine is working in overtime right now. And we see, because of this, we see articles like this one. This is from the National Post. First reading: as Canada implodes, its seniors are richer and happier than ever before. And it's really, this is crazy. So have a listen to this. So from this article, it says, put together both data points illustrate the singular political reality dividing Canada right now. On one hand, a cohort of young people are hemorrhaging wealth, hope, and life satisfaction. In the other hand, a growing number of seniors who are the rich, happy and satisfied, some of them more than ever before. And it's crazy. Like, there is a real dichotomy amongst Canadians. They say that, it goes on to say that workers who are over 55, they enjoy a 4.9% unemployment rate. And that's below the national average of 6.7, with 15 to 24 year olds currently at 14.1%, and it's above 18 for students at this moment. Like, it's crazy how bad Canada is going for young people, and how amazing it is for people in the voting age,
that was validated
that everyone's looking for.
That was validated I think it was last week, that the World Happiness Rankings come out. Like, there's an organization that does that every year, and Canada's gone overall. Canada's in 16th or 17th, like, just dropping. Actually, I think it might even be lower. I think Canada ended
25th.
up 25th, but then the kids, the youth, were like 79th, man. Like, the
71st. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like, it's crazy, the difference between. It
dropped from like 5th, by the way, like 5th place.
10 years ago.
10 years ago, it was 5th place for even the young people.
Yeah.
And now it's 71st.
Yeah,
like,
and you see the young people that are
drop.
happy are the young people in places like Latvia and people in places like Slovakia or whatever. The young there who are now 10 years after their revolutions. For the youth there, it's the future's bright. They're happy. No, it was actually the topic of when I spoke on my little tour this week. We had 4 people on stage most nights. And we each brought a different perspective to independence, and that was kind of my story. My story was based on my kids, and basically I was saying that I did okay as an Albertan because there used to be, in the old Canada, hard work could still get you ahead. Sure, I got an engineering degree, but I still, work got me ahead. My sons who follow in my footsteps, who have taken a similar life path of get your school, don't get married or don't get pregnant out of wedlock, don't do drugs. My kids are following the same path, but my kids consistently come home on weekend, and it's a topic all the time. It's like, Dad, we're the same age as you, and it's not the same future. When I was 27 years old, Clyde, I had a house. Yeah, it wasn't a pretty house, but it was my house. I could afford a house.
Your own. It was
my own house. I had a house.
Building equity. Yeah.
I couldn't.
That's not a reality. That's not a reality for.
Nope.
Young people today.
And same with when I was 24, 25, and somebody said, if I had a job opportunity somewhere, if at the time I was living in Fox Creek, and when my employer said, how do you feel about moving to Fort Saskatchewan for a different challenge? I'd be like, I'm on it. Let's go. Whereas now you get offered a challenge and you have to go visit, and you have to ask yourself all of these peripheral questions. Can I afford to live there? Will I find rent? Can I get my kids into the school? Blah, blah, blah. I never worried about those. You knew that you're going to find a house, and you knew there was going to be room for the kids in school. You don't know that anymore. Not even close.
And this is what gets me really upset, because I see posts like this from Mark Nixon, and I'm not mad at Mark Nixon for all. I'm not for real. I'm not mad at him. I'm mad at Pierre Poilievre, because this could have been last year. This could have made a difference, but now we're staring at a position where it makes no change. Real change. The Canadian youth say that they will 100% vote for Pierre Poilievre now after watching the Joe Rogan podcast with him on it. And this was the message from some young guy in Canada who probably didn't vote in the last election.
Poilievre and Carney, you're supporting Poilievre?
Yeah. I was just listening to a podcast with Joe Rogan. It's a very good listen. Recommend everyone listens to it. Yeah, it's very good.
Poilievre.
Yeah, very good listen. I mean, it would have been a great listen if he would have got out there and got the young people voting. But young people didn't turn out in particularly high volumes in the last election, and this is why we've got Mark Carney. It's just it's astronomical. Boomers in Canada, it's easy, just wave the orange man in front of them, and a number of them, and of course not all, for all the boomers in the audience, not all and not all Gen Xers, but there's a lot in key demographics in Canada that they got hypnotized by it, and it works every time, lockstep. This is why we're trying to introduce the young generation to politics and getting out there and voting. And instead they're voting with their feet, Marty. This is the reality. More and more people are coming to me and the people that I'm working with to get out of Canada. And I've been telling them, if you're serious about that, the best approach right now is go out, register a business, get going on your business, and form some clientele. If you've got a trade, you're good at carpentry, you got some skills, get out there, just form a business and start getting clients and start making money. Like, start doing that. That is the first step to getting out, because the quickest way is to take a business that's successful already and move it to the United States, and you just move with your business. It's the easiest way for immigration. So look at it as a 3-year investment plan. Just make money in Canada as your own sole proprietor, and then just take that to the United States. That's a good process.
Bingo. Yeah. There's a faster path for business than there is for an individual. Makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, shoulda, coulda, woulda for Joe. I still think he did this interview. Kind of the timing of this is still weird on Joe Rogan. I mean, it's, we're still years away from an election, as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to lose that bet now, I think, because I'm seeing the results.
We'll drink the whiskey together, Marty.
Yeah. Glass half full instead of half empty. I'm drinking wine tonight, by the way. The kids came over this weekend and brought wine. I don't drink wine very often, but I'm drinking the wine. Yeah. So what were we talking about?
Okay. Well, we're talking about politics, so we might as well get right into the NDP and what was going on there. I mean, I guess I could show some clips of what went down, because this is just, it's absurd how it actually went. Everybody was talking about social media.
Let's preface it this way, and I think everybody's seen the clips, right? But if you had not seen these, if you did not know who Avi
Lewis, it's Avi Lewis.
If you did not know who Avi Lewis was, and if you didn't know a little bit more about the NDP, and you saw clips of the NDP convention in Winnipeg for the first time in your life, you would think this is pure comedy. Like, you would never, nobody who's never seen this before would ever think that this is serious.
Okay.
All right.
This is the delegates. This is and I was having a laugh at this one, because you had this lady on there. It's got like a 1930s German haircut. It's like, wow, you're really standing out of the crowd, this one.
There's a point of privilege on microphone 1, then we'll go to microphone 3. Go ahead, delegate.
Yes. Hello. I was standing here with my gender equity card before you called on the previous speaker. That's my point of privilege that I would like to raise.
I will explain the speaking order, which is fixed, that I cannot amend, which is the pro-con rotation. You can move yourself up a line that you're standing in.
I am pro, and I was...
We went...
You went pro, con...
We went pro-con, pro, and my plan was to go con. The speaker at con mic 3 also has a speaking card.
Yesterday, this card was used in an inappropriate manner. And while I understand in Ontario, we know this is equity, even if this was also used inappropriate in terms of gender. I want everyone to be mindful that these cards for individuals like myself who identify as a Black woman have no value outside of this space.
They have no value,
You're
period.
Absolutely right. Like,
there's more though. It's not over. This is another great one.
Yeah.
Point of privilege. Again, it's the people are pulling out the race card. Literally, it's crazy.
Point of personal privilege. I understand there's very little time and for delegates to speak, but early on the mic, it's hard as a racialized and transgender delegate to sometimes use this card and speak to somebody in front of me in line and ask, hey, this pertains to multiple intersecting parts of my lived experience. I'd like to speak. I was rejected when I talked. And
I know.
These are my rights being directly under attack right now in Alberta, and that a cisgender woman had spoken over me. And I understand her
How
rights
dare
are
you.
important too. This pertains to her too. But I don't know. I hope that in the future the federal NDP will also have a broader interpretation of the equity cards for speakers. That's all. Thank you.
I will invite
Love
delegates
this.
to assist me
This is
in better
amazing.
using the card by forming a straight line behind the microphone.
Jesus Christ.
She couldn't even say a straight line because it's not
That's
equitable.
going to
Marty.
trigger someone. That's going to be microaggression. That's going to be yes, that girl was like,
That was not a girl, Marty.
I'm racialized trans, which is like, sorry, babe, like, sorry, you're just a cis woman, so I got you, right? Like, I swear to God, the cards were stacked there, different colored cards. So then some people would walk up and try and grab 3 cards. It's like, I got 3, you only got 2. And there were some clips there, by the way, you didn't show one, but there was a couple of clips where I think it was Alex who put together the clips, right? Like
Alex is great for that.
Alex
yeah.
did a good job of putting together the clips. He had a bunch of clips where he'd focus on that person and then he'd zoom in on, there was a white guy, an older white guy in the corner. And that guy, like, and somebody made a meme of him going like, I thought we were still the party of the working man. Like, whatever happens, like, buddy, you're done. You're in the wrong party. Head on over to the Conservatives. Like, you're oh my God, what a
This
joke.
is socialism today. This is socialism today. And the crazy part is, this is the best part. Actually, this is the best part. And I love showcasing this because this is how they run their convention. Just imagine how they run government.
They can't. They can't. The only thing funnier than that, remember the clip from about 5 years ago? The was it the communist delegation in the US where they were like, the guy was like, point of order, there's too much noise. Point of order, can we clap like this? Point of order, like, they're just like,
can we do jazz hands instead?
Yeah. And then the other clip you missed, and we don't need to go into it, but there was another funny clip, right? Because they paid tribute to Jagmeet Singh, right? So they had a quick, it's customary at a convention
right,
pay a little tribute to the outgoing leader. And then people went up to the mic, and one guy went up to the mic and, like, point of order, like, we just wasted time watching this, and how much did this cost to give a tribute to him? I was like, whoa. And he got piled on hard. Like, you're at
got piled on.
Yo, don't dare question.
How dare you going after a racialized member of the holy
now
cow.
We'll talk about it, I guess, in the chat afterwards, because
this is a great point. This is Danielle Smith taking the opportunity to come out and say, look at just how crazy this is. These people are trying to run government. Like, this is nuts.
We're getting a pretty clear idea of what the principles of the federal party are. They're pretty communist. They talk about nationalizing everything, from food to building houses to construction companies. They want everyone to have a heat pump and take an electric or an EV bus to work. So I think it's up to the provincial NDP to talk about how they're going to square the circle. If this is federal policy and they're required to conform with it, what are they going to do to implement it? And they can't hide behind, we're a different party, because they're not. They share a constitution. We're getting it.
And this is crazy because, like, if you think about it, like, they're communists, right? It's bar none, they're communists. And, like, we had our jokes. Like, Reagan had some of the best jokes about how poorly run communism is. Imagine if Gorbachev and those guys were like this. They had the equity cards and all that other shit going on along with all of the, class society that's, like, broken up.
They would have used the equity card to gain power, and once they gain real power, then the equity cards are gone, right? That's communism.
They go pretty quick.
Yeah. Okay, so good segue. Good, glad you brought up, because the other part of the convention is that they did elect Avi Lewis, right? Who's a nutcase. He is a nutcase. the delegates elected him based on his name. His father was Stephen Lewis. His grandfather was whatever. So the Lewis name,
he's a Nepo baby. He's another one of them.
100%. So that's the only reason he won the card, is because he's NDP royalty. So Avi wins. Now this morning, the NDP party wakes up and goes, "What have we done?" And but people, particularly Danielle Smith, is referring to Naheed Nenshi. So here in Alberta, the opposition is the NDP. In Saskatchewan, the opposition is the NDP. And in
I just want to make a point very clear here.
Yeah.
So the federal and provincial parties for all of the parties are usually separate.
But not in the NDP.
But not with the NDP. So the BC Conservatives are not affiliated with the federal Conservatives and
so that's
and the
what
Liberals and stuff. But the NDP are actually one party across.
Which is what Danielle is referring to in that clip. So right now, Naheed Nenshi is desperately trying to regain some power. Like the NDP here have fallen by the wayside in Alberta. Naheed Nenshi's almost become irrelevant. So trying to stay relevant, Naheed's like, I kind of agree. We need to develop our energy and stuff like that. And that's what she's asking him. She's like, well, you're going to have to square that hole with your boss, because your boss is 100% against pipelines and everything else. So Danielle is going to hammer on poor Naheed. Now we already know Naheed. I've mentioned this before. Naheed is an orange NDP, but he's been slowly turning it purple and rebranding and changing the logo. Naheed knew this was coming. Nenshi here in Alberta knew this was coming, that the NDP federally was going to do something like that. So they're dealing. They got whatever you get. It happens everywhere. Now at the other end,
you made your bed, lay in it. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. Oh yeah, what a crazy. During the chat, let's talk about Danielle. I do want to give her kudos for introducing Bill 25 today.
Is there any other last subjects you wanted to get into real quick before we get into the chat, or?
No, I think we covered everything pretty good.
All right, well, everybody stick around, because this is the portion of the live stream that I think everyone enjoys the most, is being able to communicate directly with us. So we're going to start addressing the chat and talking with the chat. But before we do that, Marty, I just want you to let people know where they can find you if they want to look for you on the platforms.
Marty Up North, like just type in Marty Up North, and I've like you, I've tried to organize, right? So Marty Up North on YouTube, Marty Up North on Twitter, Marty Up North on Rumble, just Marty Up North, and I'll show up. You might find the odd, yeah.
Perfect.
That's
that's it. Awesome. Yeah. Let's get into this, because there was a bunch of chats ahead.
Some good ones. Yeah,
some good ones. So we'll get into those, and everybody who, like, if you made some notes, like, make sure you try to form it as a question so we can. Oh, what about the gun grab? Okay, we'll get into the gun grab.
We'll get into Bill 25. Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah, we'll talk about all of this. Let's get into this first. Some of the first super chats that came in that might be a little dated, so we can get through this. Light says, for two, Juno's like Yoko Ono music. Yeah, the throat singer. I'm just calling BS on that. The whole throat singing thing's not a Canadian native tradition. You made it up.
And if people don't know the references here, right? Yoko Ono was John Lennon's wife, and John Lennon's a Beatle, and Yoko Ono was kind of a weirdo with a weird music screaming sound, right? Like, I wouldn't even call Yoko Ono's music, but
oh man, have you seen the clip with her and John Lennon? And I think it was on the Ed Sullivan show, and they were there with who's the Johnny B. Good singer,
somebody.
I'm drawing a blank. Yeah. Someone will mention it in the live chat. The guy who did Johnny B. Good. So she just gets up, she whips out the mic, and she just goes in the middle of a song, and you see his face. Somebody, I can't remember his name, but you see his face light up, like, what in the hell?
What am that? Yeah.
Chuck Berry, that's right.
Chuck Berry, there you go.
Yeah, Chuck Berry's face lights up, and he's just like, what in the heck was that? While trying to continue with the performance. It was something else altogether, man. Yeah, that's definitely a funny one. Let's move on. John for 279 says, make the moon great again. Yeah, let's do it. If we can't claim North America, that's might as well claim the moon. we didn't even get into any of the stuff with NATO and all that. Thank you, though, man. Gotcha. You brought me another tasty one. Thank you. Can you close the door? Thank you, please. What was I going to say? We didn't even get into NATO and some of that stuff. So we could get into some of that if some of the other people bring that up, because I find that story fascinating. Let's get into some more of these.
Well, it's crazy. We didn't get into NATO. We're already past the Strait of Hormuz. We're already past Iran. Like, the news cycle is so rapid these days. Like, even big news.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So fast. Who's this? Dennis Vaught. Thank you so much for the 5. Really appreciate that. No message, but thank you so much. Women hauling oversize. I love the handle. Appreciate that for the $13.99 super chat. Apparently, Carnival Carney got an additional $17,000. I heard it quoted on another channel. Thank you, gents, for all your hard work keeping us informed. Lots of love from Ontario. Well, thank you so much. Women hauling oversize. I really like that handle.
Yeah, and for Carney, he doesn't care about his raise. I mean, like, no. It's just compared to what he holds in Brookfield and everything else. And he's not the only one who holds a ton of assets. I guess Diana Carney, his wife, holds just as many assets as he does. Like, that, we've said it before. There's no way that guy should recluse himself from almost any discussion. No matter what we talk about in this country, Mark Carney's in a conflict of interest. Everything they announce. Absolutely. Like, he goes to Nova Scotia this week, right? You're talking NATO, but he goes to Nova Scotia. It's like, we're gonna spend more money buying more ships, more this, more that. Every dollar he announced that they're spending, you can quickly find a connection to Brookfield. It's almost inevitable at this point that something is connected to somebody he knows. Boy, that was a big announcement. Like, he went to Nova Scotia. He's just throwing money like this, man. Like, boom, 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 boom. Here's $1 billion. Here's $1 billion. Here's $1 billion. Like, just bang, bang, bang. Meanwhile, the rest of us get nothing. Actually, I'm surprised even BC barely gets anything from Carney these days. He's been dishing it out in Ontario and Quebec. What did he announce today? He reiterated the $90 billion LRT, like rapid transit for Quebec. Come on, $90 billion for a train that's never going to get used by anybody. What are you looking up, Clyde?
What I was trying to look up, and I don't know if I'm able to find it, but Scott Bessent, he's what's his official title? I don't know what his official title is, but he does finance for the Trump administration. So you know who this guy is. He's the one who's leading the charge on a number of financial issues and things like that for POTUS. And there was an interview where he got called out and he said, "Oh yeah, well, you've just got all your stuff in a blind trust." And like, as if you don't know anything about it. And he just called out the news host. He said, "No, I sold them all. And the host was like, "What?" He said, "Yeah, no, I sold them all because there's no such thing as a blind trust.
There's no such thing as a blind trust." Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I can't work this job and not somehow have a conflict of interest. So everything is sold. It's all been liquidated. It's all back, and he'll get back into investments when he's done his position."
Same thing. Like, let's say Carney holds, $100 million in Brookfield, and then he's like, "I'm going to put it in a blind trust." Really? So what does that mean? Does that mean that the guy who's holding it for you just sells everything and magically reinvests and doesn't tell you what he's reinvested? Or do you think he's just going to hold on to it, and as Brookfield, you just don't happen to manage it from a day-to-day point of view? I mean,
I think what needs to be done is they have to
sell it and put it in a
worse. I think this is even better. I think what they have to do is they should take their entire trust, liquidate it, and then buy into the same trust that's managing our pensions.
Yeah, that's an interesting proposition. I mean,
because then their shirt, everything.
Assuming there's money in the pension plans. I mean, that's but yeah.
No, but we actually fared worse off than if we would have just got like a a stockbroker from
We didn't
a
even
strip
talk
mall.
about that. I don't even. I'm not even. Weirdly, I used to talk a lot about finances, and so does Mark. And I don't know if Mark's noticed, but even Canadians are not even interested in finances, even when it's
Don't care.
terrible. Yeah, like I
Yeah, they
looked
don't
at the annual report for the Canada Pension Plan. I'm like, wow, you guys did 0.9% return on investment. Woohoo, bravo! And nobody talks about it. I'm like,
0.9.
yeah,
0.9
for the quarter, 0.9. But I mean,
yeah, but that doesn't
for
even
the-
cover inflation.
No, it doesn't cover anything. It's and the only reason it did that is because there's a surplus. They're collecting too much from some workers, and the pension plan's growing, but not by organically. It's growing because there's surplus money going into the pension plan, but they're calling that growth. I'm like, you guys are the games they're playing, and don't get me started. I mean, I keep waiting for them to rehire a parliamentary budget officer, but I guess I'm going to hold my breath too. Oh, by the way, guess what else happened today? We
What's
never
that?
even talked about that. The budget cycle for 2025, 2026 ended yesterday, right? So the fiscal year for the federal budget is March 31st or April 1st to March 31st. So guess what happens today? Today we are at the start of the 2027 budget year. So the budget that was approved last year by Ottawa, which we spent entirely without ever having one appropriation bill. The year's over now. Congrats. And now we start the new year.
We're off to the new blank slate.
Yeah.
They can spend whatever they want.
Yeah.
And it's going to be another year before they get a budget.
Actually, I need to make a note of that. I wanted to talk about that today. That's all the things that happened on April 1st. Now that I'm becoming an adult, I'm realizing they're hiding this shit on April 1st. It's a perfect day because we're all busy playing games and doing April Fools. And meanwhile, they're like, haha, check this out. New budget, new salaries, new pay increases. Yeah.
Everything gets passed on. Oh, man. And all the new taxes. So it's like it's a double shot. You get hit this direction and they get hit in that direction. All right. Next chat here. We've got a $50 super chat from JP Alberta first. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. That's fantastic. Says, go Alberta. A big problem I see with the movement is the greatest positive. Content creators that spend 5 minutes telling us to convince people to vote yes, and then spend the next hour insulting people that don't agree with independence. Well, I don't think we've done that, but I do get what you're saying there. There's a lot of that on X in particular. Like if you disagree with people on X, they just turn volatile. I don't understand it. It's funny, like people that follow me, they even saw my Mark Carney's doing a really great job. Not thinking it's April 1st. People were like, unfollow, and even telling me that they were unfollowing. It's insane.
Yeah. I mean, it goes both ways. I'm guilty of the way I view independence or pretty much anything. I mean, for almost anything in life, you got a third that are for something, a third that are completely against, and then you got that middle ground. And so, and I get confronted by people who will never, ever be on board with independence. And if I tell that person to piss off, I don't see the harm in that. People can say, see the independence, he's telling me to piss off. I'm like, but the reason I'm telling you to piss off is usually because you came at me anyways. And trust me, I get attacked by the anti-independence movement pretty hard. So we've become tribal in the country. I hear it as a complaint, and I try to do better. But unfortunately, the divide and conquer has succeeded, and they've created some big camps, and we've become very, 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 very tribal. It's sad, but yeah. Actually, the lady I was speaking with on my tour, Angela Tabak, that was her theme. Is like, we need to come back and be friendlier to each other. I agree. But boy, it's difficult right now. We've become they were very successful at dividing us.
Is there a cure to it? Is there a cure for that?
Taking the higher road and being nice to each other, but it's
hasn't that been the thing? Like, always take the high road and then they always win.
Yeah, that's there's a part of me that is at that point, which is we play too nice, and maybe it is time to play dirty once in a while. I don't know. A great comment. I mean, there's no answer. It's
Okay, I'm fast
yeah.
forwarding a huge amount, but I'm gonna get back to where we were in the chat. But
Sure.
he just added another 5 and said it hasn't been either one of you. Your old buddy does it though.
Oh, yeah.
Which old buddy are you talking about? Jeff Rath?
No, I think he's talking about your old buddy DS.
Oh, the Chungus.
Yeah, and JP Alberta is
JP Alberta first.
Yeah, I think I know who he is. JP is
like IRL, you know who he is. Okay.
Yeah. He's got a big channel too. Actually, I don't think he's a little guy. He's done a good bit for independence.
I gotta look that up now.
Yeah.
You got me curious. Well, I'm glad to hear that it's not us, and I discourage people from engaging in that kind of thing. But I can see why, some content creators, they try to, because some content creators love the drama, right? And that's like a big portion of where a lot of their clicks come from. I stay away from that. Like my goal is to talk to more people, and I'm gonna talk to less people if I have drama. So like I really want to invite more people on in the show to have conversations about these things. I mean pro and con. Like I have people that I disagree with come on the show, and I like that, and I want to invite more people like that. So
then thank you for acknowledging that it's neither of us, and I will acknowledge this too. Like I've noticed that some content creators are getting attacked from all sides for their hypocrisy. So whether left creators, right creators, a lot of people are being attacked for their hypocrisy. And I noticed that I'm not being attacked for that. So I might be a little bit offensive and I might be opinionated and a little rough around the edges, but people are starting to understand that that is literally my personality and I'm not doing it to engage on purpose. Marty's just a guy who's got a pretty strong opinion and doesn't mince words. That's all. And I think some people are starting to appreciate that. They don't view me as necessarily as just rage baiting. They figured it out.
Okay, so JP doesn't have a channel. There's another guy named JP the Belt or something.
Yeah, JP the Belt. Okay, so it's not the same JP. Okay,
not the same JP. Not the same JP.
Okay.
But JP Alberta First has been around in our chat for a long time. So.
And I've probably thought it was JP the Belt all along because JP he does a similar kind of show to yours. Takes news stories and critiques them and comments on them, but he does it with a almost purely Alberta twist.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Where are we? We've got N2 Nitro 444 with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. It says, I'm 26. At my age, my dad was married with 2 kids and a house on one income.
One income, yeah.
I'm almost the point of selling everything and jumping the border for a chance at 3 square meals a day. Yeah. So like I said, there's an approach to this. And I wouldn't do anything illegal. So like, don't ever try to go in the United States and work without a work permit.
Not these days.
That'll screw your chances of ever getting a chance to do that. If you got no criminal record, and if you do have a criminal record, like from years ago, there's other forms that you can do to fix your chances to be able to move to the US. But I would recommend see it as like a 3-year plan. If you build a business today, say whatever, man, like you've got some construction skills, you've worked some construction sites or whatever, go get a couple of power saws and a pickup truck. That's an investment in you. Get out there, get some contracts, hit the pavement, make things happen. That kind of initiative is what America wants. And if you can pull it off, 3 years later, you have a successful business. 3 years, you'll know if you're a success or not. It'll happen. And that's it. You just move your company to the United States. Talk to my friends at the Bridge. That's movetotheusa.com. At the Bridge, talk to Anthony or talk to Sandro, and they'll help you out. They'll help you out, move everything over there. I mean, there's some other other ways of doing it, but that's a solid plan. Like if you really like, if you're young and you don't have much experience and stuff, don't have a higher education, go into that route. Get yourself, like I said, if you're good at anything, go make a handyman business. Get out there, and you'll learn on the job. That's definitely the way to do it. And yeah, it's a much better plan than staying here. Worst case scenario, right? Worst case, you put in all this effort, you don't move to the States, and you're an entrepreneur and you've built your own business.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? Like that's the worst case scenario.
Everybody, I say this all the time. I'm saying it to my sons. Everybody should have a small corporation, no matter what. You should have a small corporation, and even if you're employed by a company, start a small corporation and ask that employer if they'll hire you as a contractor instead of as an employee. I know here in Alberta it's very common, and it's very it's beneficial to both parties to do it. And then having a little corporation allows you the flexibility to do a lot of things. Yeah, everybody should.
Yeah, because the Canadian tax code is just abhorrent. Trying to navigate that, you need a corporation to not pay the taxes to the government on every little thing. You talking too much for two says Epic Fury is cheaper than Alto. So the new train.
Oh, is that what it's called? The new train? Yeah.
So Epic Fury, which is an expensive endeavor, let's just say, yeah, it's still cheaper than a freaking high-speed rail in Canada. What's your take on all this, Marty? So like the world's imploding, people are freaking out.
No, I just call these
bad.
I just call these corrections. They're just corrections. That's how I view it. I try not to stress myself out about it too much. It's like some days I get mad. I'm like, can't we just let it run smoothly forever and ever? Why does everybody have to interfere? But then you realize, no, it's just holding a steady equilibrium, whether it's nature, whether it's at work, whether it's in politics, is just not possible. There's always a little tipping point, a little imbalance, and then we have correction. So it's shitty, but it's a correction.
So Marco Rubio released a video today talking about explaining specifically the reason why they did Epic Fury and why now. And I think this is a really good time to play this. Yeah, no further ado, just play this.
Many Americans are asking, why did the United States have to attack Iran now? Well, let me explain. Iran wants to have nuclear weapons. Of that, there is zero doubt. If what they truly wanted, which is what they claim, is nuclear energy, well, they could have nuclear energy like all the other countries in the world have it. And that is, you import the fuel and you build reactors above ground. That's not what Iran has done. They build their reactors and their facilities deep in mountains, away from the public glare. And they want to enrich that material. The same equipment that they could use to enrich material for energy, they could use to quickly enrich it to weapons grade. So it is clear that they've been offered every opportunity to have a nuclear program that allows them to have energy, not weapons. And every single time they have turned it down. But why the attack now? Well, what was Iran trying to do? Iran was trying to build a conventional shield, in essence, have so many missiles, have so many drones that no one could attack them. And they were well on their way. We were on the verge of an Iran that had so many missiles and so many drones that no one could do anything about their nuclear weapons program in the future. That was an intolerable risk. Under no circumstances can a country run by radical Shia clerics with an apocalyptic vision of the future ever possess nuclear weapons. And under no circumstances can they be allowed to hide and protect that program and their ambitions behind a shield of missiles and drones that no one can do anything about. This was our last best chance to eliminate that conventional threat, that conventional shield that they were trying to build. And the president made the right decision to wipe it out now. That is the goal of this operation, to destroy their conventional missiles and their drone program so they can't hide behind it and finally have to deal with the world seriously about never, ever having nuclear weapons.
Yeah, so I agree. So, I mean, he's describing a correction. Things were getting out of balance, a little too much power in the hands, a little too Too much risk coming into the future.
We're talking
So-
about 47 years of a regime that's been chanting death to America in their government annals. Like, imagine that. Like, imagine if America.
It's almost in their constitution. We hate America. It's like,
Like, honestly, imagine that though. Like, because a lot of people lob accusations at like the Trump administration or America in general. But imagine if America had like chants in the Congress or in the Senate or even from the Oval Office, like death to another nation, and like that went on for decades and decades. That's just outrageous. It's absolutely crazy. And to think that, you know, they're advancing militarily while destroying their own citizens, and their citizens have been fleeing for generations and going to other places saying, you got to do something about these crazies.
No, and he brings up a
It's only
good
a matter
point.
of
I mean,
time.
if they legitimately just wanted nuclear energy, we'd have sold them a CANDU reactor, build it right on the coast with lots of water to cool it, and put it visible with the cooling towers, and then we'd have sold you the fuel and supervise it. Absolutely. But yeah, when you start building your facilities deep underground, we get suspicious.
Yeah,
Right.
as the IAEA does. I mean, I had to look a lot of this up because in 2011, when that big earthquake happened in Japan, I was in Tokyo at the time, and I had a lot of people freaking out about what happened in Fukushima and telling me like, oh, I read this on CNN, or I saw this on Fox. And I'm like, listen, I'm reading the IAEA's website. They have inspectors on site. They're going there. This is where I'm getting my information. And this is when a long time ago when I realized people are just completely misinformed, and they'll just hear anything and they'll run with a story. And that's how crazy it gets. Like, go to find some source material, folks. Like, you can actually go to the authorities that actually oversee these things, and they're unbiased. They're not filled with, well, maybe today there's a lot of Trump derangement syndrome going around, but generally, like, the IAEA is not a political organization. It's an organization that just oversees and makes sure safety protocols are upheld. Yeah. That's really what it is. Anyway, let's go on to the next one. Where were we? I think we got this one from Night Snow Sky for 279 says, is the referendum going to pass? Hi from Yukon. What are your predictions, Marty?
It's in reach. It's in reach. Like, it's I keep coming back to this. There's 3 million eligible electors. 40% come out in a normal election. Maybe they get a little more excited for the referendum. Maybe we get 50, 60, 70%. If we get 70% of the 3 million electors that come out, that's 2 million. We need 1 million votes to win the referendum. If it's a lower number, so we could need anywhere from 500,000 to 1 million votes to win the referendum. And there's definitely lots of people who think there's 1 million votes out there. So it's in reach. It's in reach. It'll depend on the campaign. But I think more importantly, it'll depend on Carney. The ball, I keep saying this, the ball is in Carney's court, right? He can do something stupid in the coming months, prorogue Parliament, pass another stupid law, and then he'll piss off a bunch of more people and he'll push them on the independent side. Or he could do something, he could take the wind out of our sails and do something unexpected. One thing he could do that scares me:
build a pipeline and get rid of.
He won't. He actually won't do anything. There's no time
transfer payments and all.
Yeah, there's no time to build anything or do anything. But he can say something. He could say that's the transfer payment is the one that scares me. He could say, yes, I will. I've signed an MOU with whatever Alberta, and we're looking at revising the transfer payments. And enough people are gullible to go, oh, see, he's willing to collaborate with us and might be swayed. So, yeah. But short answer, it's winnable. I think it's winnable.
It's winnable.
It's a game changer. Yeah, it could be interesting.
How prepared are you guys for the funny business that's going to come?
We're starting. Yeah.
We're not prepared. My first knee jerk is like, there's probably going to be an influx of people claiming to live in Alberta that don't live in Alberta, and like propping up pop-up addresses, or can I rent a room just so I can vote in the referendum, that kind of thing. Becoming residents of other people's residences, but not actually living in Alberta, that kind of, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of funny business that the left And not even the left. Like
No,
just
and our
people in
and
Canada that do not want Alberta to leave
and our
will be
and our
willing
laws
to do.
our laws are ripe for exploitation that way. There is no residency minimum. So if you come to Alberta, the referendum vote is on October 19th. If you show up in Alberta on October 16th, go to find a place to rent and sign a lease, an agreement to rent a place for $400 a month. I mean, I'm making up a number. And if you have that sheet of paper that says I have a lease here, and then you go to the vehicle registry, and then you take that piece of paper and get an ID, they'll give you a temporary piece of paper, but those two pieces of paper would satisfy Election Alberta that you are an Alberta resident eligible to vote, and you could vote. You could absolutely do that. There's no minimum. It's not like you need to live here for 6 months and have your plastic card. You can get away with paper.
I guess I could go both ways, right?
Yep. Yeah, we can invite a bunch of pro Yukoners and pro Saskatchewan people to temporarily come here, and oh God, hopefully
it could get dirty. It could get really dirty real fast,
Yeah.
and that's the unfortunate part about it. Like we all celebrate democracy. That's like I mean, I don't necessarily really celebrate democracy. I like the idea of representative government. But like we always hear these lip service towards democracy, but all these people, most of the people who champion democracy the most are the worst offenders of breaking it.
Totally.
And stepping outside of the bounds of democracy, cheating in elections, doing whatever funny business they can to undermine actual democratic elections and how they work. So
Yep.
I mean, there is just that. It's crazy. It's crazy. I've got this one that popped up in the chat from Free Alberta 2026. Clyde and Marty, the train is going to be $90 billion to build, and it also has a $23 billion per year to run. Holy crap! That's the budget. People are not mentioning that, and if they have, sorry, I missed it. I didn't know that.
That would be the most insane crown corporation ever. We can't build. Like literally, even if they gave it to
a
SNC,
year to run,
that's a little high. He might have the decimal missing there. I could see say $2 billion a year to operate something like that, but not 23's on the high side. But I mean, SNC Lavalin will spend 10 years just studying that. Never mind acquiring. Like I worked on TransCanada
and collecting paychecks for studying it as well.
They'll study it forever. I mean, we couldn't acquire the land. Like try to get the land from landowners to build a rail system like that. It's not going to fit over top existing rail. So
try to get the demographics to actually fill the train seats. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
Like this stuff makes sense. So like, Japan's train system is amazing. Like I go there often. If you're just tuning into the channel, you've never heard us talk. My wife's Japanese. I lived in Japan for 3 years, and we go there often, and so I have a lot of experience there. Japan's train system is fantastic, but Japan's train system came about after a World War II post-war effort.
Rebuild.
The everything was demolished, and so they came in and they said, well, here's the best way to do it. We're going to build trains everywhere. And then we know we got the population that will work with this kind of rail system. And they put it in, and it's been expanding ever since. But that's from complete demolishment of the country. And that's the only reason why it worked. And now that they have the demographics, they expand the trains, and it makes sense. So they have high-speed rails that go from, Tokyo to Osaka, and you get there in no time flat. You're traveling at almost airplane speeds on the ground. And it makes sense because every time you get a seat on one of those things, you're sitting next to people. Like there's never empty seats. It's rare you see empty seats. They're so good at booking tickets and making sure that those seats are filled. So it's working not because the government subsidizes it and makes it a thing. It works because it's a viable business and the infrastructure exists. That's why.
I mean, I live next door to Calgary, and they can't even fix the water main. They fixed it last year, and now they're fixing it again this year, and we're under a boil water advisory almost. And you tell me we live in a nation that's going to build a $90 billion train system? It's called banana, folks. Build absolutely nothing anywhere near anything. We've scared away capital. We've scared away investors. In fact, Carney and his team is starting to talk that language. Listen to them carefully. Like, we have to attract investment because they know what's going on. Carney was sent to clean up and fix things because it was getting away from them, and it is getting away from them. Like the country's in deep trouble. So
yeah, here's an interesting concept. Like Ron Paul once said, because he was grilled on this, because he's a famous libertarian. He brings up a lot of libertarian arguments, like on economic sides of things. Like, okay, well, if the government weren't to build if they weren't to build the interstate highway system, what would have happened? Who would have built it? And he said, well, who knows what would have been built? Like, we have no way of knowing what would have been built instead of that. So the government came in and they built the interstate highway system, and that's fantastic. So now everybody uses automobiles and trucks, and that's what we use. But who's to say that they wouldn't have built rails across the country?
Right.
And then if people needed to get across the country, but they wanted to have their car on the other side, perhaps they would have built a train ferry. Because in Ontario, there are train ferries that make a lot of sense because there's remote areas like Moosonee and like that kind of place. You get your car on a train ferry, you get on the train, you go up to the place. Who knows? That could have been a thing. People can criticize him for saying that, but I think it makes a lot of sense. And you don't really know. You can only kind of like guess what entrepreneurs would have done and what would have been the viable option.
Well, and also when it comes to large infrastructure, there's plenty of examples of large infrastructure that gets chosen over another. And then eventually, and because you choose one over another, you get stuck having to deal with that. So as an example, I live in Calgary, where for whatever freaking reason, I'll never understand why, they put the train, the local light rail system, the C train we call it, they put it at street level. There's plenty of examples all over the world. Chicago elevated theirs, blah, blah. But nope, we put ours at street level, and we've been dealing with it ever since. So we screwed up on day one.
So what are the things you have to deal with by it being on street level?
Street lights. So trains have to stop, streets and cars.
Oh, that's
right?
retarded.
so they are on the same level. So every day you're creating traffic. Cochrane, I live next door to a town that is miserable because the train goes through town, and everybody goes, well, that's stupid. Why does the train go through town? It's like, no, the train went first, then they built a town around it. And so now you go through Cochrane and there's 14 rail stations in town. Anyways, that's an example, right? And we've made some bad choices in the past that so to your point, when Japan starts over, boy, if we had to start over, we fix a lot of things if we had to start over.
Yeah,
Japan
you make some good decisions later after that.
Yeah. Along those lines, one of the most modern cities I've ever visited is Rotterdam in the Netherlands. And Rotterdam, same thing. It was a port during the war. The Allies didn't want it to be used by the Germans, so they leveled it. They leveled Rotterdam. It was gone. And consequently, after the war, it was rebuilt. When you go to Rotterdam today, it doesn't look like anything else in Europe. It is absolutely state of the art because they started from scratch.
Yeah, and they went, oh, we have hundreds of years of mistakes to like look at and say, oh, let's plan it differently. Yeah, absolutely. But like, we're not about to level Canada or Canadian cities.
Well, we're kind of doing it in a sense, right? Some days I wonder if we're not doing it on purpose. Like, holy smokes, man.
Well, Vancouver is one of those cities where, oh man, you drive through that place and it's just,
like getting off your airport, getting off the plane and driving to your place, I just go like, wow, boom. Like,
yeah. So for people who don't know, I live like 40 minutes north of Vancouver. And when you get off the plane, you're in Richmond, which is south of Vancouver. So unless you drive all the way around, which is crappy, and those highways are just plugged anyway, you got to drive right through the city of Vancouver. And there's no reason why there isn't just like a toll road that goes above ground, like right down Granville Street. But the reason why they don't do it is because landowners, they poo-poo every single idea that comes away because my view will get destroyed. I won't have a view. Listen, if you live on Granville, you don't have a view anyway. You probably have 25-foot shrubs because the street's busy. Most people put these damn shrubs up because the street's busy and they don't want the road noise. But guess what? Japan has skyways everywhere throughout the cities. And the skyways, they actually have noise canceling technology, so you don't even hear them. You don't even know that they're there. And the best part is when it's raining, everybody walks under the skyways.
We're at that point. I mean, another example that comes to mind is Quebec City. Quebec City is kind of built on a peninsula of land, and there's only 2 ways in and out of Quebec City. And they've talked about a third link, a third way to get into Quebec City. They've been talking about that for 50 years, and they can't get anywhere with it because even though everybody says they want a bridge, when it's time to build the bridge, everybody says, whoa, 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 whoa. I don't want a bridge near me. Too much traffic, too much this. So they live with bullshit traffic for 50 years because nobody can agree. And that's where governments used to be able, that's where we used to elect governments to do, once in a while you have to sacrifice the will of a few individuals for the better of the whole society. And we're not capable of doing that anymore. I mean, you're
talking eminent domain.
Sure. Yeah.
Eminent domain laws. Well, I mean, that's a whole discussion.
No, I'm not talking. I mean, that's an example. That's an extreme example. But I'm still saying, we should be able to once in a while, we should say, listen, this is in the national interest. The pipeline's an example. This is in the national interest, and I'm not going to let one individual along the entire way block an entire pipeline that's wanted by 9,000 other people. But now sometimes one person can block 9,000 people. Happens all the time.
I honestly think that you buy a piece of property and then it gets busy in that area. You don't get to say like you're blocking my view of the sun or you're blocking my view of this. Piss off. Like you bought your piece of property. Like crowd somebody out. Like honestly, if they don't want to develop their property and the whole city around them's developing, develop them into a little tiny hole in the middle of the city. In Japan they do that. It's like, okay, well, we'll just build around you.
Just build around you until you give up.
Until you give up, and then eventually, okay, well, now sometimes people will develop the land or whatever. But that's exactly it. Man, people will hold out for the dumbest reasons entirely. Anyway, let's get on to the next chat. We got Myron Ends. Welcome back for 5 says, those cards turned this whole S show into a raging dumpster fire at the NDP convention. Yeah. I mean, equity cards. What's the purpose of an equity card? It's funny because they say, other people are privileged. That's why they need to have these things. It's a privilege. You're giving yourself privilege. You're literally pulling out a card that says, I get to go before everybody else. What the hell do you think that is? It's hilarious, and it's power, and that's why everyone's clamoring to get their cards. And the more cards they can display, the more powerful they are. It's like political Pokemon. It's freaking hilarious.
No, exactly. I mean, there was I tried to find the scoring system. I made a joke about it. I couldn't find the scoring system, but I kind of had an idea how the scoring system worked.
I don't think they want to. So the whole reason it works is because it's vague.
Yeah.
So there was a woman who wrote the book Intersectionality, and she was the one who laid out the whole idea that the reason why she calls it intersectionality is you have all of these different walks of life in life, and they intersect at certain places, and it's how many intersections that you have that you can score your oppression points. It's hilarious.
I didn't ask Chat GPT, but I asked Grok to try and explain it to me, and Grok wouldn't explain it.
What? No way.
It would not explain it. I grabbed some screenshots, but it literally said this, it had a sort of a warning. I do not, I can find a different way to explain it, but I won't explain it the way you're asking. And I was asking to understand the matrix, and they kept saying, nope, it's not about, anyways, AI is not everything. AI is trained by people, and AI has limitations. And
there's ways around it, though, Marty.
Oh, I know. You got to change the wording of the question, and you got to.
One night we were hanging out in the Discord, and this is kind of a plug for the Discord, because we go and hang out there and we have fun, and anybody can join. But we were hanging out in the Discord one night, and I was using I think it was Grok, and I said, can you draw Muhammad for me? And it's like, no, Muhammad, peace be upon him. I can't draw. the
Yeah,
Prophet Muhammad. And I said, "Oh, okay. Can you draw his horse?" And it drew a horse, like a what do you call it? A Pegasus with the wings, with a dude on it. Or no, it was like a woman on the horse. And I'm like, "Is that Muhammad on the horse?" And they said, "Well, it's a depiction of the horse that Muhammad would ride." I said, "It looks kind of like a woman. Wouldn't he have a beard? Didn't it say that he had a beard?" And I just kept asking these questions. And then eventually I said, "Can you get rid of the horse? Can you get rid of that? And can you get rid of this?" And then it just drew a picture of Muhammad. So and then I told it, like, "Yeah, you just drew Muhammad," and then it wouldn't admit that it drew a Muhammad. Anyway, yeah, trick AI. It's fun. Learn how to pull these exercises out. Insane. Anyway, next one. We've got Trish Brew. Welcome back for $6.99. She says, "How dare you insult real communists to the NDP LOL. Trump is right about NATO." Hit the like button, everybody. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yeah, Trump's right about NATO, and we're insulting real communists by comparing them to the NDP.
Yeah.
They've fully graduated. What do you think, though, Marty, on the question of NATO? So we kind of got into it a little bit, but NATO for 80 years has been benefiting from 5% of the American GDP, and American troops protecting borders, being a strong man in the region for a lot of European countries, and a deterrent for other people. They call it the nuclear umbrella, all of that stuff. And then Trump asked for their help in the Strait of Hormuz, and they don't oblige. They don't give access to their bases for the strikes. They don't.
Yeah, we talked about this last week. I mean, NATO. I think NATO's outlived its purpose, like its usefulness, like is what it has. I mean, it was designed for very specifically for a conflict between Russia and Europe and alliances, but now it's falling apart because everybody, the rules are pretty strict, and nobody wants to follow the rules, right? That if one is threatened, you all have to come to the rescue. But now everybody's like, shying away from that. So I think, yeah, we talked about that last week. Remember, we talked about NATO and NORAD and whatnot. I think they've all kind of outlived their usefulness. Is what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, and we're seeing like basically it's just a lot of them are collecting a paycheck.
They're collecting a paycheck. They're writing each other. They're writing the American coattails. And again, it's an example. Whether it's NATO, whether it's Brexit, whether it's Canada and its different provinces, it becomes a problem when one group doesn't pull. When it's convenient when one pulls their more weight than the others, and then when that one pulling too much weight gets a little tired, everything falls apart quickly. Like, it's just. You see it in organizations. You see it at the human level. I'm experiencing. I got mad this week. It's a sort of a segue, a parallel to this. But I saw some of the real numbers on collection of signatures for my group, and I'm pissed. I got pissed off. I mean, everybody's like, "Oh, we got to separate. We got to separate. We're all in this together." Rah rah rah. Pat on the back. And I go, "I collected 600 fucking signatures. You collected 3. Why are you patting yourself on the back?" Right? So I can understand. Like,
we're patting our collective selves on the collective backs. Marty.
Yeah, exactly. And so Trump is pointing that out a lot more, right? I mean, look at Canada this week. I mean, I didn't even want to talk about this, but when we're talking about it, like, he committed to bumping our spending on NATO by 3, or on defense by 5%. It's just bullshit. Everything he's done is bullshit. Like, it's I'm going to fix the military base, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to increase the wages of my guys. That's not what Donald Trump wants. Increasing the wages of our guys does not make better soldiers to fight in no.
That's not that's not how
Trump's
it works.
a game
and in fact,
changer.
So NATO is not the only organization. The UN, this broke out this week. Are you back?
Yeah.
You good? So UN, this came out this week. UN officials warned that the United Nations faces total financial collapse as a result of non-payment by nations, the non-payment of dues by member states. We face a real danger of running out of money, they said. This is this is exactly what Trump said. Y'all are not paying. The US is basically towing everybody along, and everybody else is reneging on their obligations. Why even be a part of this? Why do we even toy with this? And then you guys come out with this bullshit for us, like pandemic treaties, and try to undermine sovereignty and the ability of the people to have their representatives represent them. And you want to have some forget it. Just end these obligations.
Yeah, how does Trump feel by having the Secretary General of the United Nations sort of like criticize him for whatever this, like Trump's like, I'd be pissed off. I totally get why Trump is pissed off.
What are we paying you for?
Yeah, like, you ignorant prick. Like, just be happy and don't. I get it. I see what's happening. Yeah.
All right, women hauling oversized with another $13.99. Thank you so much. She says, was trucking for 28 years across Canada and the US. Gen X, card-carrying conservative in Ontario. The insanity is ridiculous. All the best, gents. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. That's awesome. Then we moving on to another one from Alberta, JP Alberta First for 5.
You read,
says, no channel.
Yeah.
Gen X tradesman. Jeff Menard back with the Mexican 50 pesos. Love that. That's awesome. Home equity increase. So I'm guessing it's like a 10-to-1 split, or what is it? No, 50 pesos is about $5 because that's the green super chat. And the $5 super chats are green. So I'm guessing that's what that is. I'm trying to figure out how much pesos are worth. But he says
it used to be about 14 pesos to the Canadian dollar. Last time I went, that's what the ratio was, about 14-to-1. But that's about it changes. Yeah, it's probably. I share dollars sinking as fast against the peso as it is against the US dollar. Like, we're the worst economy on the continent, man. The Mexicans are doing better than we are. Christ, the Mexicans are doing so good right now. They're imposing visas on us and they're trying to keep us out. We're becoming temporary foreign workers in Mexico. Like, that's how
that's the way it's going. Oh, Clinton Jaws jumping in saying 3 something, not 5. It's not 5. Canadian Spider-Man says 12-to-1 now.
12-to-1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, let's get back to his chat. I don't want to miss it. He says home equity increases 4 to 5 times was the main path for boomers to accumulate wealth. Not viable today. No. If anything, you're buying at the high, and you're hoping to just live in it for the rest of your life because you're losing money on that investment.
My sons are not saving. My sons are not saving to buy houses. They've told me flat out. They're like, Dad, the amount of money we need to save for a house is ridiculous, and we will never get a return on that investment. They've done the math. They're like, we're way better off renting. As shitty as it is, we're better off renting. Me, my generation, we wanted to own a chunk of land. I needed a little bit more space because I was going to have 4 kids. I have a big family. My boys are like, nope, we're going to rent, and we'll be lucky if we have 1 kid. And their future is completely different. And they are winning that battle. The powers that be, right? You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. They're succeeding at that. I mean,
in some ways, in America, it's a different story. Although, there is a rising cost of living in America. It's just, man, for us Canadians, are like, hold my beer. You know what I mean? But Americans are saying like, yeah, it's getting more expensive to buy a house, that kind of thing.
2 years ago here in Calgary, the big debate, everybody was mad because the mayor was trying to change the zoning and do what they call blanket zoning and allow higher density construction, because she said, that's how we're going to solve the housing crisis. And everybody fought her. Now we just had a change of government in October, and that government's trying to reverse that. And now everybody's like, whoa, 1 second before you reverse it, because the housing crisis is real. And oh God, yeah. You win some, you lose a lot.
I mean, what is it? High density housing works for like city centers, and people just
Yeah, but unfortunately, it's so expensive now. It's so. I mean, you guys have been living this forever and ever. I look around Calgary; they're not building single homes anymore. That's unaffordable. The cheapest single homes, and you're going to laugh because this is cheap for you guys, but a cheap single home here is like $700,000, and people can't afford $700,000, man.
You can't get a single home here.
You guys. I don't even know. I'm panicking at our market.
They're nowhere like you. In town here, a single home on a lot is like $2 million minimum.
Yeah. That's like I can't understand that, but
yeah. You just can't. Like townhouses are going for over $1 million.
That's insane.
Like attached to another home with strata bills. Like you're not even don't even consider ever buying a house that's on its own lot. Not happening. That's just insane. Oh man, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. I'm getting depressed actually. Oh, where are we? We've got Myron Ans for 5 says Marty has the call me anything you want, just not late for dinner attitude.
I have no idea what that means. Explain
it. Call me anything you want, just not late for dinner. Like I don't know. I'm always on time.
Oh, I think okay, I get it. It was like when I was saying that I'm rough around the edges and I don't give a shit, right? Like I think that's what the joke is.
Yeah.
You can call me anything you want. I really don't care. Like
just don't call me late for dinner because that wouldn't be true. I'm on time.
Yeah.
I'm always here.
Yeah. I remember.
I'll always be there for you.
Yeah.
All right. Sandy Hallgren, welcome back.
I actually, sorry, just to interrupt. Yeah. I had that discussion with somebody the other day. So you maybe don't sense it, but I'm a little pissed off at canvassing because I've been putting my ass off to canvass and collect signatures. And I had a captain of canvassing not too happy about something I said or whatever. And I said, like, dude, you know, my best bosses in the end are the ones who just told me what to fucking do, gave me the goal, and didn't tell me how to do it. This guy was not happy about how I'm going about doing it. I'm like, I collected 600 signatures. All you should say to me is thank you, and don't ask me any other questions. Don't give me shit for turning in my sheets late. Don't give me shits for whatever. Just say thank you very much. Keep doing what you're doing, and that's how I am. Like I'm not. People don't like me. They don't like you. They don't like me. They don't like people like us. But at the end of the day, they need people like us because guess what we do?
Get shit done.
That annoys a lot of people. It really does, right? Like they hate me, but then I'm like, that's fine. I'll go sit over there. And like, well, no, you can't go there. I need you to do this. Okay. Can I tell you the best story about that? I'll just tell you a real quick story about this.
Please.
I used to work in a gas plant, kind of like a refinery, and the control room is behind glass, right? And I was sitting in a control room one day with the plant foreman, and we're trying to manage an upset in the control. And the manager of the plant walked into the control room, and the manager had only been there like 2-3 weeks, kind of thing, still new to the area. And the foreman, who's in charge of the control room, told the manager, like, get out of my control room, right? I'm busy. I'm trying to manage this. And the manager said, you can't tell me that. I'm the manager, right? I'm the manager of this plant. The foreman's name was Adam. Adam got up and walked out of the control room. And Dave, the manager, looked at me. He's like, where's Adam going? I'm like, well, he's leaving, I guess. He's like, well, you can't. He's got to fix the plant. He's like, no, you sort of told him that you can do it. You're the manager. Fix the plant.
Get her done, buddy.
And Dave literally is like, well, I don't know how to fix the plant. I'm like, well, then I suggest you probably go out there and apologize to Adam. Tell him to come back in here and you get the fuck out of here. Like, you know, it's my plant. Sure, it's your plant. Knock yourself out. You know what I mean? And that.
I love that.
Adam was like that all the time, right? But I mean, Adam was grumpy, rough around the edges. But he had earned the right to be grumpy, rough around the edges because
he got shit done.
So yeah, you know, like no please and thank you to Adam. You just get shit done.
That's the whole thing. Like nobody cares about your feelings thing.
They should. I'm okay trying to be nice to you. I mean,
sure.
I don't choose to be an asshole, but once in a while, when it's like that scene out of Pulp Fiction, right? When the wolf shows up and And John Travolta drinking the coffee says, I don't like the way you're being curtained. And then the wolf says, all right, gentlemen, I'm out of here. It's like, whoa, Mr. Wolf, that's not what we want. Like, you know, like your services are really appreciated. And Mr. Wolf says, you know, if I'm curt, it's because I'm busy and I need to get shit done. So, and then he turns around and is like, so pretty please, with sugar on top, clean the fucking car.
Yeah. Would you just cooperate with me?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. No, that's exactly how it is. I've had some apprentices that had a hard time, you know, just being told what for. You have to every once in a while. But it comes with love. I mean, at the same time, it's like, I want you to get better. That's the whole point. But yeah, that's it. What did they call it? They call it the Pareto principle, right?
Yeah.
The 80-20 rule. The
power rule, 80-20. Yep.
80% of productivity comes from 20% of any the members of your workforce.
Or 20% of the work creates, Yep. Always.
Yes.
It's a pretty solid rule. Yep.
It's a pretty solid rule. You have to admit though, like you do need that other 80% of the people that do the other 20% of the work. They're required, but you don't have to put up with them. That's the only difference. It's like
that's what I would say. Don't pat everybody on the back equally, and don't cater to everybody else. Just they're there and that's it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, getting back to that comment from Sandy Halgren for $13.99. Thank you so much. She says, as an Albertan, I agree with Rubio because I'm not an idiot. The TDS needs to stop. Absolutely. In fact, everybody should be on board with what's going on right now. Like for the most part, I'm sure. Like and here's the thing. I'm actually like a peace guy. I'm actually a peace. I really believe heavily in the non-aggression principle. This is classically goes back as people would call it a classical liberal principle or a libertarian principle, the non-aggression principle. If people haven't aggressed against you, don't aggress back. Don't be the provocateur. But I don't see that as the case here. I see this as like 47 years of all right, FAFO. Really, at the end of the day, it's like you said, a reset. We need that reset, and I'm glad we're getting that. And let me just be frank. The Iranian people, especially the people who have fled for generations, are very happy about what's happening right now. Looks like you're looking up something. What do you got?
No, I was looking up Sandy. I was going to ask Sandy a question, but I'll ask her later. I was going to ask her a question, but Sandy and I chat on X all the time. So,
okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we got another one from Jeff Menard for another Mexican 50 Mexican pesos.
They don't want to build anything. They want to demolish everything. Yeah. Read the question, but they don't want to build.
So this is the future of Canada if you vote NDP. How will this group ever build anything? No. It's about tearing down society.
No. Avi Lewis wants to take us right back to the Stone Age. He wants no infrastructure, no oil, no natural gas, no LNG, and he wants government control over everything. Even Thomas Mulcair, a very, very popular, famous NDP leader, mocked Avi because Avi's like, I want government grocery stores, I want government telecommunication companies, and this. And Mulcair's like, yeah, we all know how well those things work, right? He laughed and mocked him. He should have mocked him harder, but no. It's going to be interesting to see if Avi can pull enough weirdos over to the left and split the left, because he might. There's still enough. There was definitely enough of them at the convention to make me believe that he will win some votes. Like, those people with their equity cards, they weren't too happy about being in the. They feel powerful now because equity cards didn't even mean shit in the Liberal Party. They certainly don't mean shit in the Conservative Party. So
there is a left-wing contingent of the Liberal Party though that really leans on those equity cards, and that's what got Justin Trudeau in, right? So Justin Trudeau was heavily involved in. That's why he made the most idiotic statements like, I don't think of mankind, I think of people kind. This is the stuff that he was focusing towards, but it was at the early onslaught of that stuff before it started really metastasizing in society. And now that it has, people like, wow, it's no longer a chrysalis. It's turned into its beautiful butterfly, and it ain't no beautiful butterfly. Let's just be honest with you. There, I want to take this moment, if we can, to pitch the second channel. Everybody, get on over to the second channel. If you don't know about it yet, it's the Do Something podcast. Head on over there. A lot of the talks that Marty and I have end up on the second channel, if you know, in bite-sized bits, especially if you want to share stuff with people. This is actually a destination to go. If you want to share like a particular topic, instead of saying, yeah, go watch the Marty and Clyde show, and you send them a link to like a 2.5 hour podcast or something like that, they might not bite. But if you send them a 10-minute video that's talking about a specific topic that gets cut out of one of the podcasts, that might be the way to do it. So head on over. I'll make sure that the link is in the chat here. Make sure you go over and you subscribe to the second channel. It's called the Do Something podcast. We got more plans for what's going on that channel coming out, after I end up in Texas. So make sure you're over there, because then you'll catch all of that as it happens. Next super chat here is from Creed for $5. Says, I'm hustling the business plan, but destination is Alberta. Things around don't feel the same. Been to Alberta a bunch and happy to call it home. That's amazing.
Get here before the referendum.
Yeah, get on over. Get on over so you can vote, or at least get a residency of some kind, so you're eligible. But that's man, you know how many times through the years I was like considering just getting a place in Alberta just so I could buy car insurance while living in British Columbia, because we got commie insurance in BC.
Yeah, be careful about that though, because there's a limit. There's some limits on there, and some, you'd have to declare that you live in BC. Like if you pretended that you lived here, but actually, and if the insurance company found out that you were consistently in BC, you might, at the time of need, that insurance might not be there. You know what I mean? Like insurance companies.
Well, that's a good point.
They do everything they can not to pay out, right? So
that's the whole. That's how they win. Or that's how they.
Yeah. So that's one that I know what you're saying, and I thought the same about going to Saskatchewan, because it's even cheaper in Saskatchewan. But then it was like, if you have an accident and they find out that you've spent most of your time in Alberta, I could see them doing everything they can to decline the claim. So
good point. Good point.
Insurance is such a scam, right? Oh God, I hate insurance. Like
especially government insurance. Holy crap!
Yeah,
they switched it from a tort system to no fault insurance here in British Columbia.
We're doing the same.
You shitting me?
No, that's one of the big criticism of Danielle recently is she's going down that path, and everybody's trying to get her to change that. But that's a whole. The
amount of people that have just completely denied coverage is just insane. Since they switched the system, you can't get a lawyer, you can't sue the other person. Like people, they base it on your age and all that stuff, on how much you would make through your lifetime. Like you could be someone just about to go into the NHL, you get in a car accident, you get crippled, and they're like, "Oh, you're a college student that makes no money, so for the rest of your life, we're gonna give you, she's trying to $35,000 a year." Someone who would have just been making like millions of dollars. Like she's
trying to justifying it, saying that victims will get compensated more quickly. I'm like, yeah, but then they won't get compensated. So there was, like more quickly of zero is no good, right? So no, I'd rather wait a little bit longer and make sure I get compensation than quickly be denied. But
Oh, in BC, you're subject to a tribunal, and you can't use a real court system. Like they have government run tribunals, and they don't have the same mechanisms like a court where you have discovery and evidentiary, whatever, this and that. No, it's screwed up, dude. It is the worst, man. Fight that as much as you possibly can. Get back to a tort system. That's awful. Anyway, moving on, because we'll go on about that forever. We got Sean here. for 279, he says Canada with a UH can't even deliver mail. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was in the news this week as well. Canada Post. They're discontinuing delivery service to homes in like a lot of places.
They have to. They're
They
so,
can't afford it. They
they're
can't
so
afford it.
they're so going bankrupt. They're so going bankrupt. Like they need another $2 billion injection just to stay afloat. Like they're no, that's
I listened to it on the CBC, and they, you know what they blamed? They blamed that people are getting e-receipts now after all those years of all the government agencies pressing to make sure that people get e-receipts, and now they're using the same agencies are now blaming that.
I live in the country, so I have a super box, you know, and you go there. I only go once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks now, because there's no mail. I don't get any mail. Like, what do I get in the mail? I can't think of anything. You know, my
Amazon
Princess
come
Auto
right to your door though.
Yeah, Amazon comes to my door. The only thing I get in the mail is my Princess Auto flyer, and I don't know, whatever.
That's like the Harbor Freight of Canada for the.
You guys don't have Princess Auto? Yeah, you have Princess Auto. No,
in British Columbia we do. In America,
yeah,
we
okay,
don't.
yeah.
For all the American viewers, they're like, "What the fuck's a Princess Auto?"
That's the world's biggest garage sale. Like
it's a knockoff of Harbor Freight.
It's a knockoff of Harbor Freight, but they're not even well organized in some of the stores. So you have to walk every aisle. And so if Karen's next door at her favorite store, I'll be like, hey, take your time. I'm gonna go walk. I need a whole hour to go through. I'll walk a whole hour through Princess Auto and then come back with you know, what's the most common thing you need at Princess Auto? Like,
I don't know, like an air fitting or something,
zip ties, or a box of multi-size cotter pins, and you only ever use 2 sizes. But you need all those things. Ooh, you know, a 2,000-pound strap. Sure. Like, every time I go there, I buy something. Actually, the other day I bought a little propane for my propane torch. They were little, you know, the blue propane tanks were $6.99. I'm like, ooh, I need 2 of those.
One visit we went there, and I got a deli slicer, and the wife was like, "We'll never use that. What are you doing?" We use it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we use it.
Yeah,
I love it because I'll make roast beefs. I'll make like a roast beef on the barbecue, and then all the leftovers, I don't over slice it. I'll put it in the fridge, and then we slice it with the deli slicer later. I render my own bacon.
It's totally worth it for you shop around and you get I love it because when you go to the counter, they always say, "Did you find everything you needed?" It's like, I actually didn't need anything, but I found all these things.
That's exactly how it goes. Where's the comment? I just saw one right here. Sheldon says half my paychecks goes to Princess Auto. Yeah, we know how it works. We know how it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're not a man if you don't understand that.
No.
James Halliday for 2 says SNC new name is Atkins Realis Group.
Yeah, they changed that a couple of years ago. That's
well, because everybody knows they all
but everybody still calls them SNC Lavalin. I mean, you know, you can change the camouflage, but it's still the same bullshit. Yeah.
What do they call it? Putting lipstick on a pig.
Yeah, no, it's the same. Yeah,
same thing. Ephonic Zen for $10. Thank you so much, and welcome back. By the way, it says Grok gone woke, and unfortunately, X was a trap. Such a bait and switch. I don't think it was that much of a trap. I mean, like it didn't go hard to the right, but like it's a lot freer than it used to be.
It's a lot freer, and I definitely hear a lot of complaining about X. I complain. I see the ebbs and wanes of the.
You still can't get shadow banned for shit. Like that sucks.
Yeah. You know, but I'm figuring out that I think it truly is like most social media platforms. As long as you put out good content, you'll get some traction. And that's the key, right? But once in a while, you get some good accounts that start to complain, and they're legit. But I just take a break. Maybe it's just a coincidence for me. I seem to take a break no matter what every 2 weeks, and maybe that's appropriate because it keeps me keeps my engagement okay. Yeah.
I'm just not as active. I mean, I'm actively on X all the time, but I don't post all the time.
No, yeah. No, very few people post as many as I do, that's for sure. Especially when I'm sitting there canvassing, I got nothing else to do. So
Fair enough. JP Alberta with another 10. Thank you so much. Says the NDP should do a convention every week like a TV show. It would be like SNL, Saturday Night Live. It would be the funniest show ever. Would anyone else watch it? I would for the highlight. Well, I'd watch all the highlights. I wouldn't sit through
in
it,
essence, though, he's describing our parliament, our legislatures, and everything else, right? I mean, a lot of our different houses of commons in this country are pretty funny. Like it's
some people sit through it and watch the whole thing. Like I know Mark Nixon, he watches through it every session.
Yeah, there's
like
no
on 2X or whatever.
I used to do it at
I can't do it.
I used to do it at lunchtime. I used to do it at lunchtime. I mean, I'd come home. I was lucky. I had many jobs where I would actually be home at lunchtime, and I'd come home at lunchtime and watch Question Period. Not gonna lie, but these days I wouldn't watch it. It's not the same Question Period as it was 15 years ago. It's complete garbage. It's complete garbage.
It's garbage. It's smarmy. Yeah. It's just for the social media posts. Yeah. If they have a moment, it's going to be on social
media. And it's
media
everybody,
anyway.
Right? It's everybody. I mean, I even have days where I listen to Pierre. I'm like, oh my God, same thing, right? Like it's not even clever anymore. It's just, it's not engaging.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Jeff Menard with another 50 pesos. Thank you so much. Says, for Alberta Independence and talking to Lefty, I say UCP government is booted out with independence and they will make 20 to 30 on their paycheck. I've got other people in here. Holy cow. My family just came in the room. Startled me. The government got out. I say the UCP government is booted out with independence and they'll make 20 to 30% on their paycheck. Booting them out with independence. Like what's the thoughts in Alberta? Are you guys happy with the UCP?
I'm happy with the UCP currently. I mean, I do think it's taking the province in the right direction, generally speaking, and I appreciate what they're doing.
Not with that tort thing on insurance.
No, there's the odd one that they might lose a lot of. Like I think they'll have Danielle. Unfortunately, will probably try to be neutral during the referendum and not take a side. But she'll be asked repeatedly to take a side, and it's going to hurt her. And so we'll see what happens. I mean, the day after independence, sure, I'll let the UCP continue, but I want to be a republic the day after, or in the coming months. And so all those guys are gone. They all took an oath to the king. As far as I'm concerned, you guys are all gone. Fresh start.
Fair enough. Fresh start. They're all eligible to run for office.
Yep.
Be a representative. Be a
senator,
or be a congressman.
Yeah,
or
we had our first we had our first UCP MLA come out this past week, declare himself a separatist. So you get the odd one here and there. So that's good. They have to take a side. They're going to have to take a side. They won't be allowed to. People will not tolerate them being neutral.
Yeah, no fence sitters. No fence sitters in this. No, this is gonna get interesting.
Oh, it's gonna get it. Yeah.
I can't wait to see it. All right, Great Fox. Thanks for the $5 super chat. Welcome to the chat. Says, so you're saying my kids can get jobs in Mexico at Tim's as TFWs? Yeah. Tim Hortons now hiring. What, Canadians in Mexico?
I wonder if there are Tim Hortons in Mexico. I don't think there are, but yeah. No,
maybe if you're in Qatar or something.
They've definitely Mexico recently announced some real tightening on their visas. Like they're kind of closing their borders. A lot of nations are closing their borders, and they're closing their borders to one group in particular that seems to be not very compatible with everybody around them.
Are they the people that scream Aloha Snack Bar a lot? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They don't play nice with everybody else, and some people are saying, you know what, we don't want you here.
Gotcha. Yeah. Gotcha. I'm not gonna argue with that. Not at all. Only in Alberta for 279 says, thank you both for everything you do. Respect and a fist bump. Awesome. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Myron Ends with another 5 says, I'd shake your hands and sit down for a beer with you both. Keep getting stuff done. Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Marty,
yeah.
are we going to do another get together before I'm out of here, out of Canada? Because that's coming up soon.
Yes,
coming up soon.
I think the better bet is you start organizing something and I'll come visit you. That's the easiest one. I mean,
Okay.
that's
Okay.
yeah. Just plan one and I'll come visit you again. That's,
Are you serious about the Japan trip though? Like, because I'm going to be there in May.
Let's talk in the coming days about that one. I'm serious, but I don't know if I can convince Mama Bear. Maybe I'll just go alone.
Well, whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
I want to do I want to do a Marty and Clyde show live on the street in Tokyo. I thought that would be a lot of fun if we did like a Wednesday night. Try to time it. For
May's
the
actually pretty good, right? Because the campaign will, like, we have until May to collect signatures, and then it'll be like a 2-3 week period where the government has to study the petition, and then the campaigning for the referendum wouldn't officially start until, let's say, June. So for me, the month of May is like going to be a good month to take time off, and I need time off. I'm actually kind of burning out from this campaign, from the signature collection, the talking, the touring. Like I am.
I'll take you for some beers at some fun places in Tokyo.
Whenever somebody says that, like sitting down for a beer right now, that's something I miss. I enjoy sitting down. That's why I'm saying if you do an event, I'll come see you in.
Okay, so nothing before May then.
Oh, we can no. Before May, I can do a weekend. I'm not going to, or a couple of days. I'm not going to do 2 weeks, right? But that's what I'm saying. Like if I go to Japan, I want to be there for 2 weeks, spend a couple of days with you, get oriented, and then bugger off, right? I'm not flying to Japan for a week. But I want it to be for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. My next 3 week window for me is May.
If we did like a meetup in Vancouver, we could do that on a weekend before May.
Weekend, I fly out there.
Because June is going to be so hectic for me. Like I think it's a no-go. So I think it should be before I go to Japan. That we
end of April, early May, a meetup in Vancouver would be fantastic. Yeah, every time I see somebody say sit down and have a beer, I get excited. Like you know me, folks. You know me, Clyde. I like having a beer.
Okay, we only have a few more chats left, so let's get through these because my teeth are floating at this point. Let's we got Myron Ends, just saying that, and then Canadian Spider-Man for 2 says Clyde Con before you move ? Hey Marty, talk tomorrow. Yeah, so we were just saying that we're gonna try to figure something out this month. We'll try to figure it out for the month of April before I head off to Japan, and let's try to make a weekend a fun Saturday night, let's just say somewhere. We'll make that happen. So that'll be a thing. Revasades, welcome back. We haven't seen you all night. For 5 says, in response to SNC Lavalin rename, you can change the paint, but wafting smell, you cannot get rid of the smell. No, you can't. No, it still reeks of SNC Lavalin. I don't care what the hell you call it. It's just, it is what it is. We've got another one from Sandy Halgren for $6.99. Thank you again. Says Danielle, like that will be what? Sorry, Danielle, like that will be like Raph. She will lead the parade when she sees how the wind is blowing. Just my opinion. So yeah, she just kind of goes with it, where she thinks who's gonna win. She catch that wind in her sails, that kind of thing.
No, sure, she's a politician and she goes with the wind, but she's more on the side of leading. I'll give her that much. I mean, she's not, like
Ralph. Sorry, I misread that.
Ralph was Ralph
Klein, I guess.
And Ralph didn't give a shit about the political winds. Ralph is like, this is the way we need to go. And so, God, like I wish every politician was like Ralph. But Danielle's closer to Ralph than say, to be honest, I don't like Pierre these days. I think Pierre is way too much of a fence sitter. Like that's always been my criticism of Pierre. Like stop just reading the polls, man. Like, lead. People want leaders and lead.
Oh, so, Marty, we didn't even get into the buyback failure.
Next week, we got lots of time to talk about that.
We didn't even get into that. All right. So Rhino 58 Mead for $6.99 699 says the old Rhino Party in Alberta was going to flatten the Rockies to make farmland. They would be considered sane next to the NDP now.
They would be considered
obviously,
sane, but
that's not real. They're not being serious.
No,
That's a joke,
they were
right?
actual comedy, but at least they were good comedy. And yeah, I know what he's saying.
I didn't know that was their platform. They're gonna flatten the Rockies and make more farmland.
Oh, the Rhinoceros Party, man, had some crazy ideas. Like
that's
someday go
hilarious.
on Wikipedia and look up the list of best Rhinoceros Party ideas. They had some great ideas, man.
It reminds me of that guy who wore a boot on his head and he would run for president every cycle. And he said he wanted to get every American a pony and toothbrushes. Like he had some weird thing about dental hygiene.
Yeah. No.
And he was a total joke. Like he wasn't serious, but people took him seriously. Everyone does. James Duggan for 10. Did you hear about the truck accident with a payload of thesauruses? Onlookers were left stunned, startled, aghast, and taken aback, stupefied, confused, shocked, rattled, paralyzed, dazed, bewildered, and so on. Love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. We've got one from Myron Ends for 5 says Princess Auto is your source for expensive Chinese garbage. Yeah, I mean that's the best place to get power fisted for sure.
It works for the one, you know. I've bought tools there that you might use once or twice as an amateur mechanic. They're suitable, right? Like I remember one time needing to compress some springs around struts. And you can do it with ratchet straps and other things and big C clamps, or you can buy a cheap Chinese spring compression tool that worked pretty darn good. So
for that single purpose use,
yes.
And then it's like right into the bin.
Still one of the most dangerous things in the world.
I
right?
know.
Like, you're just
squinting
like,
at it.
Yeah.
Oh man,
awesome.
I've been there. Absolutely been
one
there.
more came in at the last second.
One more. Revasades with another one. All right. He said for 5. He says was back in the hospital. Just got home. My appendix surgery has a pre-abscess, and I'm back on antibiotics. That sucks.
That's not good. Yeah, that's not good.
Sorry to hear about that, but glad to see that you're out and you're out and about, not stuck in the hospital. In that case.
Yeah.
Or having them offer you MAID to solve the problem. Jeez, it's just unbelievable in Canada anymore. JP Alberta first with another 5. Thank you, man. I really appreciate this. Rhinos had the one plan to build the Trans-Canada inclined in the east and west, so you could drive downhill in both directions. That's so funny.
They still exist. The Rhinoceros Party still exists. They still run candidates once in a while, but
weren't they the guys who originally started the longest ballot? That's like
no.
They were just so that was just a separate, another funny thing.
Yeah, they were just funny guys. Yeah, awesome. Wow,
we got Jeff Chapman in the chat saying, Clyde, pleasure speaking with you today. So I got a random call from Jeff Chapman. And he got my number and he called me up and we had a good chat. And we got some cool things that are coming down the pipe from that chat. So lots to look forward to, man. Really, really good stuff coming, honestly. But yeah, Marty, that's another week. That's another week. Holy cow. Every time we think that we've outdone ourselves, Canada comes in and says, hold my beer. We got more.
But no, great chat tonight. Thanks to everybody. People were very generous tonight. It was a good I guess they're happy that we're back on the Wednesday night and we tried something different here. We stayed live until 2.5 hours, so that's awesome.
And pretty good, pretty big across all the platforms. Amazing showing of people, so that's fantastic. Good to see you all again, and we'll see you all again. Actually, I'm going to be doing another one live on Friday night. I know it's Good Friday, but I'm going to be doing one live probably around 7 Pacific time. So
today's Wednesday, right? Let me do the math in my head. So when's the 7th? So is the 7th next Wednesday or next Tuesday?
Let me just
2, 3,
look at my
4,
calendar.
No, next Tuesday. Okay, I was trying to. Good. I'm on the show next Wednesday. It's all good. But
Okay,
on
okay, you'll be
Tuesday,
around.
I'm going to the University of Calgary. Tamara's speaking at the university, doing a little presentation on
Oh, cool.
on her thoughts, not on independence, but on her thoughts on the decline of democracy in Canada. And so I'm going to go and have it. Listen to Tamara and probably have a beer with her afterwards.
Sounds good. Say hi to her
Yeah.
for me. And so we're clear for April 8th. So next week. And tune in this Friday. I'm gonna have Tiana, Truth Seeker, on the show. That's gonna be a lot of fun. So tune in. I'm not gonna be advertising that anywhere. So you heard it here. That's all you're ever gonna hear from it until it happens live. So tune in for that. Anyway, we'll see you guys all in the next one. Good night.
Cheers, folks. Good night.